championship season, but Georgia's one of those teams. They're like in Alabama. They're built right. They're built for this. But what the biggest difference that I saw wasn't the defense. Of course, they're still starting their no touchdowns given up thing, kind of getting that going early. But Stetson Bennett was the difference in this game. Amen. He was more confident coming off that national championship with people still trying to replace him in the lineup, but he came out and said, no, I am still that dude, the guy that held up that MVP trophy of the national championship game, and he was on display for the Oregon Ducks, and I think everyone has to take notice. All
right, well done, guys. Up next, we head to the Mountain West, where a pair of the conference's best will square off with Pac-12 foes on Saturday. Can Air Force take down Colorado? And will Jake Haener and Fresno State light up the scoreboard against Oregon State?
When you start with better ingredients, better pizza, you also get better papadillas, better cheese sticks, better yummy this, and better tasty that. With this, or you can do with that. Get any two or more for just $6.99 each. That's Papa John's.
You're sitting there thinking about quitting? Don't, because today we are not afraid of growth.
We are built to do hard things.
I want you to feel alive today.
You are a plate of fajitas at a packed restaurant turning heads. Sizzle, baby! Sizzle! Keep sizzling. Great things take time.
You are tougher. Peloton. Motivation that moves you.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm going to drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely going to call a ride home.
A Paramount Plus subscription is now included with your Walmart Plus membership.
Hello, world.
For no additional cost, members get a mountain of entertainment.
People rely on us, so keep it together.
Sign up for a Walmart Plus membership and watch all of this and more with your Paramount Plus subscription.
Your time starts now.
Conquer the great outdoors or the great indoors. The new 2023 GMC Sierra 18-4X. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. GMC, we are professional grade.
For millennia, this rain has made the same extraordinary journey. From the clouds above Fiji to a sustainable artesian aquifer deep within the earth. It's not just water, it's Fiji water.
I'm what you call a boutique hotel. I'm looking to provide a more unique experience. Do you like single origin coffee over a game of chess? Me too.
Welcome back. Some notable Mountain West teams in action Saturday, including Air Force hosting Colorado 3:30 Eastern. Over on CBS, the Falcons coming off one of their best offensive performances in years, running for nearly 600 yards on the ground against Northern Iowa a week ago. Coach, it could be a long day for the Buffalo defense.
It could be a very long day. 582 yards. How about 35 minutes of ball possession? Talk to Tim Horton, the running back coach. Loves Brad Roberts. Don't forget about the quarterback. Zeke Daniels does a great job right here running the triple option. He can put it in the belly of the fullback, or he'll keep it just like that.
Yeah, I love what Zeke Daniels is doing, but this thing about the whole triple option in Air Force, they grind you out. Time of possession is the key element here, because basically you have minimized opportunities to score if you're playing offense opposite this offense. So it's going to be key for Colorado get themselves off the field on third downs.
Meanwhile, a quadruple header on CBS Sports Network Saturday concludes at 10:30 with Jake Haener and Fresno State welcoming in an Oregon State team that was able to get past Boise last week. As for Haener, he was the preseason Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year and showed why against Cal Poly in the opener, throwing for 377, and Tommy barely missed any throws in the game.
Yeah, those numbers, I don't care who you're playing, those are spectacular numbers. Didn't turn the ball over, 2 touchdowns, 377 yards, 85% completion percentage. This is going to be a heck of a game because I was really impressed with Oregon State and the way they handled Boise State last week. And so I'm really, really interested in this game.
What about that Beavers defense, to his point?
They created 5 turnovers in the game. I mean, look, when you're giving the ball back to your offense that many times, giving yourselves that many opportunities to score, kind of makes things lopsided for the other team. You basically negate everything positive that an offense does by turning the ball over. And when you get it in plus territory and you're down on in their area of the field, it's even better. You see there, Boise going in to score, taking points off of the board. They were active. They were getting after it. This defense was like in the Pac-12 last year. So
the
this is a huge improvement from last year's
like
team.
and subscribe today.
Eastern Saturday night. Kevin, you going to be around with me for Inside College Football?
Home of
Middle of the night.
That's it.
Cannot wait.
Tuesday and
Speaking
Friday
of
night,
Boise State, New Mexico each open up their conference slates on Friday night.
which airs live Saturday mornings, youtube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it, and if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from we, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team, it's about your university, it's about where my family wanted to go, and you're taking that away so that young kids can earn $1. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go.
Armchair.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. YouTube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans. The Armchair Quarterback Show is back. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern. We'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and at all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
I might audible. If I audible, I'll use
Omaha! Red Polly! Red
Paulie! Blue poncho! Dilly! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Chop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Luda Raiders! Red Ryan! Omaha! How about?
This portion of the show is being brought to you by The Best Things in Life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z?
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Armchair Quarterback Radio, the gunslingers of sports talk.
And here's second-year quarterback Brett Favre out of Southern Mississippi by way of the Atlanta Falcons. They are hopeful he can succeed in the NFL. Here, Brett Favre, you want a challenge? Try this one. So with your best receiver out of the game from the 35, 19 seconds left. Ball punch throws, touchdown! Is there a spark of life in Green Bay?
Yes! Danny Marino!
Here's Marino, wide open field, throws for a touchdown. It is number 37 on the season, breaks the all-time NFL record.
Going deep and open. Touchdown, Mark Duper. Duper has returned, and he is super.
They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll away, throws it up in the air, says a prayer, and Janice does it. Stop it! Oh, please!
It's the 21st century, and there are just so many fun and exciting ways to lose your money. So many ways to make your life even more interesting with crippling financial burdens. Why not one more way? New in Canada, it's Solitaire, MMORPG. Play with yourself. Online. See other people playing with themselves. Online. Poverty Poker Online, now offering Solitaire. A new way to lose all your money, even your home, from the comfort of your own home.
TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, and Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks, 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land, and doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Remember, if for any reason you must leave your radio, please have the man at the door stamp your ear so you can listen again later.
Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk to betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Arma Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the pub. Really? This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing? Do you know what's going to happen if...
Hyperbole is done. Now we can finally play the game.
We are live in Tallahassee, the capital of the great state of Florida.
That's Desmond Howard going in motion on 2nd down and 5 for Michigan, playing on real grass at Michigan Stadium.
Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the...
They're down to the 20, but the fans are out on the field. There were flags all over the place. The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.
In trouble in the backfield, wants to throw down. He's going to go deep. I mean deep, and I mean touchdown, Florida! Miracle finish. A Hail Mary that's full of grace for the Gators.
Barkley trying to bounce it.
Doesn't stand. Saquon Barkley in the clear. Center with Barkley. So 79 yards.
It's a 31-30 game, and what does
What are they
Nebraska
doing?
do?
I have not seen the kicker come on the field, and I don't think he's coming on the field. Tom Osborne made this decision a long time ago. He's decided to go for 2 and take a shot at winning. I commend him for it.
This is for the national championship for Nebraska.
The Seminoles of Florida State. It's a battle for bragging rights and recruiting advantages in the state of Florida as the Gators come calling. And Chief Osceola ready to get it started.
Little flush, throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it.
Today, we've got number 1 Seminoles against number 2 Hurricanes.
Good morning. How the hell are you, Doug?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. The Atlanta Braves are in first place, my friend, all alone for the first time since opening day. First time all season.
Absolutely.
What's that?
Took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it's finally here.
It's finally here. The excuses from the Mets, all that stuff can go away. For folks who are just waking up, and seems like Doug's just waking up, can barely get a damn word out of him. The Atlanta Braves win last night in Seattle off of Charlie Morton, despite Snicker once again. Dude, he leaves Charlie Morton out there too damn long. He does this with all the damn starters. And despite Snicker's inability to be able to manage a bullpen, the Atlanta Braves are that good. They power on and they win. And that bullpen is starting to look sharper and sharper every single game. Kenley Jansen, clean inning.
Yep.
Minter looked pretty good. Iglesias looked pretty good. Charlie looked good enough. I felt like at the end of the 6th inning, he should have pulled him. He had several balls that he was there. There were 3 balls hit deep into the outfield. 2 of them almost looked like that they were going out of the park. Did you catch any of the game?
I saw the last couple of innings of it. It's like
what was your take on it?
Oh, it's like I've said. I said this a couple of weeks ago, and I'll say it now. This team is like borderline a dynasty team. It is so much fun watching your Braves play baseball.
Hey, by all means,
week.
Adopt them. They can be your Braves too.
Yeah. Well, my Braves look like a dynasty team like that right now. I mean, I haven't had this much fun watching baseball in a while. And I got to tell you, every day they never disappoint. And that's when I'm just enjoying this. I'm tired of hearing about the Mets and this and that. All the Mets are nothing. To me, this is the best team, at least in the National League right now. And they're going to be.
Don't get me wrong. I think the Mets are a very good team. And I still don't think this division's over by any stretch of the imagination, especially because, look, if all things were equal and we were playing the same schedule, yeah, I would favor the Braves pretty heavily. But the simple fact is the Mets have a pretty easy schedule down the stretch. Now, it's going to get a little tougher here in a little. I don't think it's next week. I think it's the week after that they have to go to Milwaukee, so that helps out. The Milwaukee's not playing the best baseball right now. But just in general, I feel like Atlanta is playing really good baseball, and they're doing it with a lot of things. And look, here's the thing. We don't even necessarily give me a second. I got to do 6 things at once. So I kind of need you to man the ship every once in a while, Doug. I need you to talk, son.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But anyways, yeah, it didn't get posted. So we got to do this crap again. Something happened with YouTube and Facebook. They're not playing nice together. So it's a long story, but I have to go around the damn side of it. But anyways, let's get into the crux of everything else. Talk about the Braves down the road. But we have the rest of the series in Seattle, and then we got 3 more games on the road in San Francisco. It's going to be, if we can come out of this road trip in first place or right there in it, right? Then I've said all along that I like our chances to win the division. But that's going to be key. We have to, because the Mets are going to set up that final run. It's going to be DeGrom. It's going to be Scherzer in Atlanta. There's just no way around it. They're going to do it.
Well, it's not going to be Scherzer. I'm not sure if it's going to be Scherzer or not, because he just went on the DL, didn't he?
Yeah, but 15-day IL. I mean, he'll be back in plenty of time. That series is 3 weeks from now.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm just saying, I just see the Mets kind of falling apart here. That's all. That's why I'm not that as concerned as you are. But I just see you taking off and holding on to this lead. The fact is,
if Scherzer and if DeGrom are there and they're healthy, which I suspect they will be, I think they're going to treat them with kid gloves to get them to that series. It's going to. Now, I'm not saying the Braves can't win those games by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. But what I am saying is that's a tough road to hoe. And Atlanta, depending on how their matchups set up, I mean, you would hope you would have hopefully Fried and Strider in there somewhere in that 3-game stretch. There's no telling if that's really going to happen, because the Braves, I don't think, are going to manipulate their lineup, because I mean, they will if they can, right? But I don't think they're going to manipulate the lineup this far out. I think they're looking at, let's win every damn game we can. Let's put the pressure on them. Right now we're playing for house money, because the New York WFAN, I forget his name. He's the overnight guy, but it kind of went viral. He put all the pressure on the Mets when he declared this division over back on May 31st. June 1st, the Braves took off. The very next day, the Braves took off and have had the best record in Major League Baseball since June 1st.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the fact.
Oh yeah.
That they're doing that, and the fact that they're putting all the pressure on them. But anyways, let's move on, because I want to get your takes and I got to get this stuff out. I can't be the only one talking here.
Got you.
The new baseball rules, they're coming into effect for 2023. So let's start off with the first one that I think is the most boring one, which is the pitch clock. What say you on the pitch clock?
I love the pitch clock. I've watched games and fallen asleep just sitting here. I want that ball out in 15 seconds. I wish it was like a 10-second clock. But no, I love that pitch clock. I'm joking when they say that, but
if you want that they just be volleying it back and forth.
Sometimes it's like, go. I mean, I watched the game last week. I was watching a Blue Jays game. And I swear it lasted for 5.5 hours. You know how tired I am of watching a Toronto game and just looking at the pitcher, looking like he's having a fit? Yes, no, going on and on and on. It drives me crazy. So no, I love this clock. It's about time. I mean, they've been using it in the minors. They've been experimenting in the minors for last year or so. So I love it.
I'm telling Angelo this as he's sending me messages, because he's not gonna be able to make the show today, because he says he's getting fitted for a tux, and he thinks he has to tell me that it's not for him. Like, dude, no one's marrying you. You drunk. But anyways, he goes to try to give me a stupid underdog pick, and I said, oh no, I'm gonna tell everyone this. No, show up or shut up. I don't want your stupid underdog picks if you're not going to show up. If you're not going to show up, it's an L. All right, move on.
Okay.
So the pitch clock, I never would have liked it until I started doing what I do now. Broadcasting the games. Doug, I can't tell you how much of a difference I can tell now when I'm doing a game. So if you're at home, you're grabbing yourself something to drink, whatever. If you have a couple of devices, you might be looking off to the side. You don't realize how incredibly slow Tyler Matzik has gotten in between pitches. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But when you're doing the game, it becomes very obvious to you very quick, because Max Fried's like that, right? The guy he's going against is working like that. And then there's always one or two guys that show up. And I don't remember Fried being this slow in the playoffs last year. And I almost wonder if this might have something to do with his problems.
Yeah.
But he is taking a ridiculous amount of time in between pitches. It's not just him, but I will say this, it's few and far between nowadays. So what they have been doing has worked, but the only reason why this is being implemented is because of these slow bastards that will not put the ball back in play, swerving around. And I'm not even talking about Kenley Jansen, because Kenley Jansen's fairly quick. He gets his feet set, and his little twisting, that's in the middle of his motion, right? I'm talking about Matzy gets in, and every pitch he grinds his foot in the ground, stops, stares, looks around, pulls a ham sandwich out of his back pocket.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The entire Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff is like that. They've all got ham sandwiches in the back of their pockets. 5.5 hours.
Yes, I agree. And so, with that being said, I am happy the pitch clock is coming, but I don't think it's the most exciting thing because I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference, except for a handful of players. There are a handful of players that are going to be affected, and you know what? Move up, move on, move over, get the hell out of the way. Because I'm sick and tired. The guy that always comes to my mind is Baez. He was pitching for the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers sent him to the minors. They might have even DFA'd him at this point. But over the last couple of seasons, Baez was incredibly slow. I mean, we're talking about 30. I think they had him clocked anywhere between 30 to 40 seconds in between every single pitch. And Matzik isn't that damn slow. Matzik just sticks out to me because he's taking an extra 10 to 15 seconds longer than your average Joe. The next one, this is the one I do not like, is the bases being expanded. What say you?
I kind of liked it. I hate to disagree with you, but I
might
like
be in
it.
the minority, but I don't like it. I'll tell you why in a second, but I do want to hear your take.
Oh, my take with it, I was sick of just watching. I think that hits that normally would have been hits with the way they're shifting. I mean, you've got a
what does that got to do with baseball?
You got an outfield, huh?
What does that have to do?
I mean,
with
you've got a, all I'm just saying is there are certain types of hits, line drive hits that.
What does that have to do with the bases?
Oh, you're talking about the bases. Oh, bigger bases.
Bases were expanded. Did you not catch that?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the shifting rule. I'm sorry.
Did you not catch that? Okay, so
no,
obviously
I just
you don't know what I'm talking about, so I'll let everyone else fill everyone else in as well, because not everyone caught this probably. The bases are going from about 15 inches to it's between 17 and 18 inches. It's been debated, but we'll just say for argument's sake, let's just call it 17 and a half inches, right? And it's a circumference.
Right.
So the bases are larger now, not counting home plate, first, second, and third, which means the bases are going to be closer to each other from first to third. Okay, all around. They say they're doing it for safety, but I think they're doing it because they're trying to encourage the stolen base. And first of all, if that's what you're doing, just be honest. Say, hey, we're doing this because we want more stolen bases, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's what they're doing. I think the safety, shut up about safety. If you wanted to do safety, you would have done what I suggested to do years ago, and I can't be the only one who has said this. So I can't be like, well, McGee should tell Major League Baseball, because I can't be the only one who said it. I might have been the first one to think about it and say it, on any kind of forum, but I can't be the first one who said it since. I think if you want to be safe, you want to actually be safe, you create a lip on first base that is in foul territory and give the runner that option to cut the base. Okay. In other words, almost running like a straight line. And as they're stepping on first, they kind of veer just off. Right. So the lip would be heading towards the dugout. Right. And that would allow the first baseman to step on first and allow the runner to run down the line and give her a bigger area for them to step on first. And you would cut down on the injuries of guys getting their foot stepped on at first base. It's not normally first baseman. It's usually the damn pitcher covering the bag, right? But instead what they've done is they've expanded the bases because they're trying to create base running, create action on the field. And why I don't like that is only for one reason only. Because from now on till the end of time, every stolen base is going to have an asterisk on it, in my opinion. Because there's going to be pre-2022 stolen base records and post-22 stolen base records. Because how close are these stolen bases sometimes, Doug? Right? I mean, they're bang, bang. Yeah. And you give me an extra 2 inches here and an extra 2 inches here, so 4 inches total. That's going to make a huge difference. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
I guess it's more 1 inch, because you're talking about it's going to be 1 inch on each side, but still, it's going to make a big difference. Now, these catchers' arms have gotten so damn strong that maybe it won't make that big of a difference. But let's get into what you were talking about, the shift.
Well, with the shift, yeah, I support it. I'm glad they're getting rid of it because, like I said, like I was saying before, is a lot of hits that aren't hits will be hits again, and that goes to what you were saying. Why they're doing this with the size of the bases? It's all about action on the field. So, and that goes together with what you were just saying. You can see the pattern now. They want a lot more scoring, a lot more action on the field. Shorten the game, a lot more to watch, making the game, the overall game more exciting to watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I believe that when it's all said and done, you're going to have more balls in play that are going to be, and that's what you want over anything else. To hell with everything else that we're talking about at this point. You want just more action, man. You want more, I want less strikeouts. I want less swinging for the fence on every freaking at bat. Sorry, this stupid thing will not stay right. I miss the hit and run. And I'm hoping this is what this brings back. Right?
Yes.
That used to, and you know this because you're not much older than me, but you're still of the same generation. And we grew up on baseball. One of the reasons why we fell in love with baseball was the constant action on the bases.
Yeah.
And instead, what we have is swing and miss. It's been beaten to death. I don't have to talk about 20, from top to bottom, but it's just swing and miss, trying to hit the ball over the shift and over the wall. And I know it's ironic, me being a Braves fan, because that's all we do is swing for the fences.
Yeah.
But what gets me more excited than a home run by Matt Olson is when Dansby Swanson drives one in the gap.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2, maybe even 3 base runners on, and they're coming around. That's the most exciting play in sports, is when a ball is hit in the gap and the tying or winning run is on first base. Can he make it? Right? And that's what one of the most exciting plays of the year, in my opinion, the Atlanta Braves, was when Acuna, who were we playing? Was it Pittsburgh? I know it was in Atlanta. I wasn't doing the game. I was getting ready to go somewhere, and I was watching it right before it happened. Acuna scored on a single from first base because he was off and running. The ball got hit on a long single, and by the time the balls made contact, he was almost at second. And because it was a single that was towards the gap, by the time they corralled the ball and got the ball to the infield, Acuna had gone first to home. And it had given the Braves either a 1 or 2 run lead at that point, but it was a big comeback. We were down by a handful of runs, and we ended up scoring like 7 or 8 that inning, and it was like 7th, 8th. But anyways, that's one of the most exciting plays of the entire season for me. Not any of the home runs that have been made. So that's what I'm hoping. And for folks who haven't caught the actual rule, it's going to, and this is starting next year, all 4 infielders, their feet have to be on the dirt. They can no longer be hanging out in shallow right field on a shift like Riley has. Yep. I'm sure Riley loves it. He's like, thank God. Every time there's 2 strikes on a left-handed batter, I got to go jog over there. And then if I don't make the play perfectly, someone's got some analytic crap going, oh, you're not a very good third baseman. Well, I'm not playing third base. I'm playing shallow right field. I'm playing a softball position is what I'm playing. So you have to have your feet on the dirt. And this is the kicker. This is the one that I like the most about it. There has to be 2 infielders, not counting the catcher and pitcher, 2 infielders to the right of first, to the right of second base and to the left of second base, meaning no longer can you cram 3 dudes over there. You want to cram a third dude, I guarantee you some teams are going to try this. You could, in theory, put your left fielder over there in shallow right field. You know some teams are going to try this and then run it with two outfielders. But you're opening up a big gap out there. Now, some teams are going to do
Yeah,
it.
you are.
And it would not shock me if the Braves do it, because their analytics department is all. There's some MIT guy. Well, you know what we could do, and meanwhile, Michael Harris going, wait a minute. You mean to tell me and Acuna have to cover the entire damn outfield while Robbie Grossman or whoever we decide to put in left, shallow left field is going to just sit there try to play the crow hop? But anyways, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, for new people that have never seen that, go back and watch. I hate to be a homer. Watch the Reds of the 70s. One of the best teams for that type of play. That consistent single, double.
Cardinals
triple.
in the 80s. Whitey ball,
Cardinals
as they called
in
it.
the
Whitey
80s,
Herzog,
exactly.
Whitey ball.
Mm-hmm.
That was the team that made me fall in love with baseball. I was already a Braves fan, but we were terrible. And come October, we weren't in the playoffs, so I would watch other teams. And Vince Coleman was from my hometown, et cetera, et cetera. So I got to where I would pull for him as a second team. I don't do it really anymore, but that was my second team. Whitey Herzog's Whitey ball was the most exciting baseball. And I would watch that 1,000 times over the style of play that the Braves have now, where it's swing for the fences. All right, we got to move on. Real quick, because we're going to run out of time. I'm going to get your stupid underdog here in a second. So get that pulled up. Did you play stupid underdog last week? I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me.
I thought I did.
Okay. I got it here. Okay. So you know the rules for stupid underdog. I don't have to redo that for you, right? All right.
No, I don't think so.
Doug, yes. Yes, okay. And I'll tally those in a minute. But real quick, Raiders.
Yes.
Chargers. Who's going to get the W this weekend?
Raiders by 3.
Raiders by 3.
Raiders by 3, because I think they've got the better. I think they've got the better offense than the Chargers do. It's kind of a pick'em game because the Chargers and Raiders are very similar teams. They've got a terrible offensive line. So it's really, to me, one of the keys to this game is whose edge rushers are going to have a better day. Is Bosa and Mack or Crosby and Chandler? And that's what it's going to come down to. And also for the Raiders, can Nate Hobbs take that next step? Because he's an up and coming. I think he's a great corner. And if he has a good game, I think the Raiders can pull it out by a field goal.
That game, by the way, is 4:25 late kickoff. It's in Los Angeles, which means the Chargers home. I know that confuses anyone who just came out of a time warp. But the Raiders, it's one of the 4:25 CBS games. How many 4:25s do we have this week? I saw 10. I was surprised Tennessee was a 4:25 game. Looks like we've got about 3 or 4, four games. It looks like that we have this week. Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Packers, Vikings, and then Titans. Titans and the Giants are the last one. That to me is that one in the Cardinals versus the Chiefs. Those two have my attention. I'm really not that excited about Packers Vikings. I'm not talking about from the fantasy side. We'll talk fantasy in the last hour. I'm talking about from a real football side. All right, as we bring the guys in, waiting. They're in here. They just haven't appeared. Let's go ahead and get your stupid underdog pick, Doug.
Stupid underdog. I'm taking the Appalachian State plus 19 with Texas A&M. That's my.
Oh
really
wow,
stupid
you're
pick
swinging
of
for
the
the
week.
fences. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do before the rule change comes out. I'm gonna swing the fence.
Guys, you got your stupid underdog picks as we welcome in Tones and Joey. We're gonna try to do y'all stupid underdog picks in this segment, and then we're doing the other ones at the 11 o'clock hour.
My stupid underdog pick is ready to roll, sir. I could get it at you now, later, whenever you want.
How are you this morning, by the way? I don't mean to rush everything.
Good. Happy belated, brother. Hope it was a good one, and the Braves got you a good birthday gift. And
that was the best birthday present of all. 12:40 last night, somewhere in that area. I stuck my arms up in the air. My wife's asleep, and dog comes over to me. I was like, "We're in first place for the first time all damn year." And she wondered, what happened? And I told her she worked. Her long story short, her boss is a Mets fan. She goes, "Oh, that'll be good tomorrow."
Oh, and we've been talking all year how this was going to happen to the Mets eventually. So
they Mets-metted.
Mets gonna Met.
Oh man, what an incredible comeback story for the Braves, though. They've been playing great ball all year, and it should be a fun couple of months for them down the stretch.
It really should. And I don't think the divisions are by any stretch of the imagination. We got a lot of big games to play, but it's fun just to be back in the mix, not 5-6 games out of first going crud.
And it seems like all these teams are blowing it. The Yankees are blowing it. The White Sox.
The Yankees are choking
hard. The White Sox are making a run. I mean, there's a lot of divisions that are wide open. It seems like more than usual.
My fantasy baseball teams are choking. I go out there and score the most points in both leagues. I'm in the championship, and dude, I ain't got nothing from my teams the last couple of days. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose the trophy league to Trosh, and because I'm done by a ton in that one, and then the dynasty one, dude. I mean, talking about 7 starts yesterday, and I somehow lost points. Is just I'm gonna need some hot bats this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Get those big hitters out and get them swinging, and get you some points to push you across the finish line. You never know. You could get a couple huge days, I guess.
So real quick, for everyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, stupid underdogs, real quick, the short of it is you pick a team. If they win the game outright, you get whatever points that they were underdogs for. So example, I'm on an NFL page. So if you took the Jets to win, you get 6.5 points. We typically go with college, because college is usually a better chance for a bigger point spread. If you cover the spread, you get 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't cover, you only lose 2, but you're looking for something that's, you at least want around 7 points, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, Tones, what you got today?
I'm going with Duke getting 10 at Northwestern. I like Duke. They blew the doors off Temple last week. They shut them out. Not that that's a great opponent to start, but Northwestern, to me, they're going to come in a little oversight. They beat a crappy Nebraska team overseas, and they're probably on their high horse from that a little bit still. So give me Duke playing some upset ball on the road against Northwestern here, getting 10 points according to ESPN spreads, and that should be a fun one at noon.
What time is that game?
Noon Eastern.
Okay. FS1. That is weird. Okay. FS1, 10 points. Okay. Wow.
It's not your prototypical North Texas out of me, or, but nothing great. But hey, that should be a decent matchup. 2 1-0 teams, both looking to stay off the schneid.
Joey, what say you?
Yeah, I was between a couple of games here, but, obviously you can only choose one. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt plus 13. That's also a noon game. That's going to be a battle of 2-2-0 teams right there. I know Vanderbilt is nothing really to brag about, but hey, better than nothing. And, they're playing Wake Forest, who's number 23 in the country for home game. So I'm going to take Vanderbilt and the 13 points and hope they just cover that one there. They haven't
Great
played
minds think alike. That's my pick as well this week. Vandy plus 13. So
wow. I was thinking about them too. Even they got a really good playmaker on their side of the ball.
I honestly think Wake Forest is probably going to win the game, but it's worth a shot.
Right?
It's Vanderbilt, and that's what I usually try to find as a team that's at home. I mean, the game that I really like, but it's just not enough points, is Tennessee. Pittsburgh at home against Tennessee. 6 points. It's a tough place to play, et cetera, et cetera. But what am I really gaining? A difference between 4 points and covering the spread. So I'm trying to get something. So, Joey, hopefully me and you hold hands towards victory lane, and then we can separate off after next week.
When Colts and Titans start their season, we won't hold hands anyway. So let's just do it for the next 24 hours.
Doug, what is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Just walk off today. It's just Rays Yankees at 1 p.m. today. Yankees are just falling apart. They're only 3.5. The Rays are only 3.5 games back. Wouldn't be surprised it'll be.
Matchup, do you know?
What's that?
What is the pitching matchup? Do you know?
Let me see. It's Kluber versus.
I can find.
I want to say it's Kluber.
I thought you were looking at it. Sorry.
It's Kluber Italian. It's Kluber Jameson
Yeah,
Tate.
Kluber Italian. Yes.
Oh, I like the Rays' chances there.
Yeah.
Because Kluber's been pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm. Especially the last month.
And Tyon is garbage. Man, they traded the wrong dude to St. Louis. The hell were they doing trading Jordan Montgomery in the middle of a playoff hunt?
And their rotation wasn't even that deep at the time either. That's the most baffling part about it.
What you needed. And you were struggling with your bullpen. So your bullpen struggles. You want more depth in your rotation so you don't have to wear them out.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
Made no sense.
No.
Braves and Astros flip-flopping Odorizzi and Will Smith, that made sense.
Correct.
Astros like, we got no room for him. We might as well take a chance to see if we can get Will Smith back to Will Smith form. And the Braves are like, this dude is just like one more blown safe from, hanging himself in the locker room. So we got to get him out of here. And what the hell? Ian Anderson all of a sudden can't find the strike zone. That made sense. But moving Montgomery to St. Louis.
And the
great move by the Cardinals. They've taken off.
And they got back an injured player too. So
yeah, they are running away with that division. All right, let's take a really quick break. When we come back, Doug, we'll see you next weekend. When we come back, yes, sir. When we come back, we are going to be diving into, I think the next thing up on our docket is some college football spreads. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expected here. CBS Sports Radio.
Hey, football fans. The Armchair Quarterback Show is back. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
The Glory Hole Theme Park. We all like speaking rodents to entertain and educate our kids. And now with Jerry Gerbil, the kids have someone they can really relate to.
Go on, kids, have fun. I know it's safe.
Glory Hole Theme Park. Open every day till 3 a.m. Come live the mystery.
TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, and Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves Baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves Baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. And doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit, and everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. Well, I screwed that up. I should have been playing an intro song as we come in. So, hi. Back here at CBS Sports Radio, Armchair Quarterbacks. You can also catch us on YouTube, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. This is the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 Kickoff Show. We're coming to you live every single Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. We talk college football, but for you NFL fans, we're going to talk NFL in a little bit. We talk fantasy football. We talk the spreads. This week we'll spend a lot of time on college football because there really isn't a hell of a lot to talk about. To be honest with you, it's kind of one of the worst slates of the year. But let's go ahead and talk some spreads, some ones we might like, and we'll go around the horn. Let's maybe each of us we'll pick two. We'll go one apiece. Start with you, Joey. Give me a game that you're interested in. Maybe because of the line, maybe because just being a fan.
Yeah, for me, a little bit of both. I know it could probably be a blowout, but I'm going to go with the obvious choice right at noon on Fox, and that's Alabama and Texas. You know, when you get two prestigious schools like that, you just want to see the lay of the land. Texas is home. I saw the lines off of social media at 5 a.m. Those people have been ready to get in there. So the atmosphere is going to be wild. Currently, the line is at 21. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know a lot about Texas this season. Their quarterback seems to be playing okay ball early, but they're going against the best, right? So this is a big test for them. And I'm just interested to see if they can keep the game close. Because like you said, it's not the greatest slate today. So when I see Bama and Texas, my eyes went there first, along with probably a lot of people down south. And I'm just hoping Texas can keep it close and we get off on the right foot today because it's college football week 2. As you said, it's not the best schedule, but let's get some good under our docket early and hopefully Texas can keep it close. I don't know what you all think, but if I was to be a betting man on this one, this is probably more of a heart pick, but I'm going to take the 21 points and just hope like crazy Bama doesn't win by 30 plus at the end of the day.
Are you put that in as your lock?
No, I'll do my next one as my lock. That's just one I don't love this one. More of a heart pick, but I like it.
Okay, fair enough. We're starting the locks this week. You know, this past week was just kind of a flyover because we were doing the draft at the same time, and it was really hard to get all that away. I didn't get picks from everybody. It's just so we're just calling that a scratch. But real quick on the standings for the stupid underdog, no one hit, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us did not cover the spread, so we're at -2. Joey and Trosh did cover the spread, so they're at +2. So that's the standings. So moving on from there. Okay, so you like the Alabama Texas game? I think that's going to be an absolute just blowout.
It could be, right? I mean, you're probably going to be right.
And I saw a video yesterday, some Texas fan, some kid looked like he might still be at Texas, and he was like, the most dangerous team is the team that's got nothing to lose. He started trying to like compare it to a soldier. You know, he'll empty the clip. I was like, yeah, bring that same energy around 4:00 Eastern time, buddy.
He'll be half asleep in the bathroom.
Bashed by the Alabama Crimson Tide. And there's a part of me that's pulling for Alabama in a blowout because I get sick of Texas football. Fair. Because they don't do anything, but they're the biggest braggadocious of all the fan bases that their team always sucks. They're by far one of the most cocky fan bases.
Ever since Sam Ehlinger said we're back, well, they haven't been too back. I'm just waiting for Manning's Cooper's son to get there, and that's when I'm going to start paying attention.
Ever since Colt McCoy got hurt in the championship game against Alabama, and what was that, 09 or whatever the hell it was, they haven't been back.
No.
My entire life, I've listened to how Texas football is a big product. In my entire life, I can capsule Texas football being a big product in about a 3-year window, and it was all when Vince Young was there.
Very fair.
So that maybe the only fan base that might be a tad more delusional is the Miami Hurricane fan base. That one's out there in left field. Do you? He ain't been relevant in 20 years. Should it? Tones, what game do you like this week?
Joey went more from a viewership standpoint. I'll kind of give a betting game I'm interested in this one. Week 1, you had these teams battle both way bigger schools. Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech week 1, and East Carolina almost beat 18-ranked NC State week 1 as they took them down to the wire and barely lost 21-20. So Old Dominion getting 13 points on the road against East Carolina, coming off a victory against Virginia Tech. Not that either of these teams are going to make noise this year. That game's at 6 o'clock Eastern time, by the way. So I'm very interested to see if Old Dominion could make their football program into relevancy, maybe make their way into a small bowl game, perhaps. Coming off a big week 1 victory against Virginia Tech, they're getting 13 points on the road against the East Carolina team who hasn't been that great the past couple seasons, albeit a close week 1 against 18 overall NC State. To me, that one has some fun potential for 2 smaller schools.
I'll tell you a game I really like. I think it's a fun one because it's 2 big conferences, just not 2 big schools, but it kind of hits close to home to y'all. Virginia at Illinois. The Cavaliers are getting 4 points. Illinois has not been impressive. Virginia's their offenses looks like it might be a little better. I'm really tempted. I wouldn't take it as my lock, but I'm really tempted. Give me some Cavalier action.
Yeah, that was a disappointing loss last week against Indiana by Illinois. So I don't blame you going that direction at all. They, like you said, just not
4 o'clock ESPNU game. I mean, I really like that game.
Yeah, that should be a fun game. And like Joey said, U of I kind of let people down a little bit last week, and Virginia should be ready to roll. They only beat Richmond by 17 last week. So who the heck knows what'll happen in that one, but should be a fun little battle.
We've already talked about the stupid underdog, but I'm interested in that Vanderbilt Wake Forest game because I want to see which team is real. Wake Forest gets their quarterback back. So I don't have a ton of confidence that Vandy's going to win this game, but I am intrigued because Vandy went out on the road and blew out Hawaii the first game. I get it. Hawaii's not what they were a few years back, but still, that's a difficult place to go out and get a W because you can't keep the kids focused. They're all in hula skirts and focus. Come on, look, we're trying to play a football game, and you usually lay an egg out there. And they came home after that, a quick turnaround and beat Elon. Elon's nothing, but they didn't do Vanderbilt type thing, which would have been to lose that game. So I'm interested to see what's real, and I will be watching that game. You know, I'm not going to be sitting there turning off all the other devices and locked in. Shut up, trying to watch the Commodores and the Demon Deacons. Neighbor, like, it's not basketball season, loser. But I'm wanting to get an idea of which team is possibly real as far as like a Cinderella type story.
Correct.
Give me another team, another game. Excuse me, Joey.
Yeah, and actually, for our lock, could that be NFL or college?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, no, we're going to talk NFL here in a minute.
Okay, so I'm going to keep it on college, and then I'm going to go Iowa State. They're plus 3.5 on the road against Iowa. Iowa had 7 points last week, and no, it was not a touchdown. It was a safety and 2 field goals. Their offense looked absolutely putrid. If you want to watch paint dry, go look up last week Iowa's game. I know Iowa State didn't play anybody crazy, but they blew the doors off it. Deckers at QB had a great game, throwing 4 touchdown passes. If they get any type of offense like last week, I know it's
was it 2 safeties and a field goal.
Yes, I'm sorry, 2 safeties.
Okay, I was about to say because that math doesn't add up. Okay,
no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 2 safeties and a field goal.
I will say that South Dakota State's a pretty decent program for their level of football, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock them too much. It just was a very letdown performance. We got some Iowa fans over here around our neck of the woods, and they were just very low on them. So, you know what? Iowa State come out tough. It's always usually a pretty good game. I'm going to say them plus 3.5 is the way to go in that one. And I'm tempted to – I think I'll lock it in.
You'll lock what in?
Iowa State. That'll be my lock.
What is it? -3?
They're getting 3.5.
They're getting 3.5?
Yep. Iowa's given 3.5 points at 3 o'clock.
Wow. Okay.
The over-under is only at 39. That shows how crappy
it's a 4 o'clock kickoff. Okay.
Yep.
So you're taking Iowa State
plus 3.5.
Plus 3.5. Okay.
Yep.
Tons, give me one more game that might have caught your fancy.
If you guys are up this late tonight on the East Coast, specifically Baylor BYU. Baylor.
Oh, okay. That's actually a fun game. I thought we were headed to like
Old Dominion
White
versus
Community College versus San Jose State Central.
I could have chose Nichols UL Monroe, as that's pretty fierce as well. But
that's you.
I'm going with Baylor BYU. I think this one has a lot of fun potential here. You got the number 9 ranked team in the country going at the number 21 ranked team in the country. BYU's 21, Baylor's 9. That game's 10:15 Eastern time. BYU's actually a 2.5 point favorite, and this really dictates both these teams' season because these are, although bigger programs, they really can't afford a loss if they have any hopes at the playoffs, either one of these teams. So I'm really interested to see whose season trends up and whose trends down this early on.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I will be up that late because the Braves play 9 o'clock. Freaking Mariners. I'm like, thanks a lot for that crap on a Saturday night.
I will say, McGee, you get lucky though. It's a good late night slate. You got that game, then you got Oregon State, Fresno State, and you got Mississippi State, Arizona. So they're at least throwing watchable content your way that late.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell to make of that. I mean, 9 o'clock. I'm like, seriously? But I will be up because of that. So I'll be up till the end of the Braves game. And so Baylor BYU, I kind of suspect that I'll be jumping in on that. I'll tell you the game that I can't believe none of you, I was leaving it for everybody. And Bobby will be with us at the bottom of the hour, so we'll really dive into. But that Florida Kentucky game's got my eye. Let's find out who's real. Florida jumped up after beating number 7 Utah, leaped all the way to number 12 in the country. I thought that was an overreaction. I mean, I don't ever recall someone beating a Pac-12 team and then leapfrogging 13 spots into the top 25.
And nothing against Florida, but the Utah quarterback kind of cost him that game.
Dude, Utah's quarterbacks has tossed everyone every game for the last 30 years. That's kind of my point, is that I'm not impressed by someone beating Utah. It was impressive that first time head coach, first game as a head coach, wins a game against a team that was returning a boat ton of players. But you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me the Pac-12 is trash all the time, and then when you beat a Pac-12 team, like, we got to put them at number 12 in the country. And I'm not putting this on Gator fans, okay? I'm putting this on the idiot voters. 18, I get it, right? The only part, and Justin and I were laughing about this on the Wednesday show, the only part that I get any kind of enjoyment out of it is, it pissed off Miami fans. They're sitting there at 15, 16, whatever they were last week, beat their opponent down. It was a bad opponent, Bethune-Cookman, but score 70 points, and they get leapfrogged by a team in their own state.
Gotcha.
So that's the only part that made me go, actually, this isn't a bad thing, man.
Man.
It made it very, very, very humorous. But still, at the same token, Kentucky's going to be a better litmus test. I do think Florida probably wins this game, but man, 6 points. These games have been incredibly close. The only reason why, if I would go with the home team, no matter where this game, no matter what we're talking about. So because it's in the swamp, I'll take Florida, but it's also very difficult in college football to get up for 2 games in a row like this.
Yep.
And an emotional game. That's why I'm so glad that Florida State, when they pulled off the big win against LSU, thank God we have this week off. Because especially on a short week, that just smells like an upset.
So
by
nice.
the way, have y'all seen the unis we're going to be wearing next Friday night?
I have not.
I have. They've gotten a lot of great reaction.
They are smoking. They're going to be white from head to toe. White helmet. So it's the same, the same structure with the spears and all the frill on the shoulders. So looks exactly the same, except it's a whiteout. And the cool thing is, typically when Louisville's at home, they wear all black. So it's going to look really cool because it'll be Florida State in all white and them in all black. Florida State used to wear all white uniforms from time to time. Burt Reynolds bought it for them in the late 80s. In fact, if you go back and watch the famous Punt Ruski game between Florida State and Clemson, they had them on, but they had gold helmets. It's the first time they've ever gone white helmet, white pants, white jersey. I'm assuming white shoes. I mean, I thought it was cool. Only the dumbest part of it, though, was whoever created the hype video showing them on they put it to Ice Ice Baby. I'm like, that jackass was always wearing Hurricane stuff. Why are you playing that song?
Yeah.
I never got to thank you for that win because it was so nice seeing Brian Kelly lose. I know you had to sweat it out a little there, but man, thank you for taking down Brian Kelly.
It's LSU fan base is already turning on him. It's been one game.
They're
ready to fire him.
That loss knocked the accent right out of him. That
You
fake
hate
little
to see
egg.
it.
Did y'all see the interview with
Yep.
his name?
I forget his name, but you're talking about the guy who said, well, if you win, I'd show up on time.
Oh yeah, well that was great too with the reporter chiming back at Kelly because he was trying to wear someone out about being late. And the reporter said, well, if you show up, well, if you win, maybe I'd show up. And it sounded like it was a female reporter. They didn't show her, but I was like, it'd be even greater if she's like 20, like she's an intern. She's like, who are you, buddy? No, what is his name? Ed Ogeron. They were interviewing him.
Oh yeah.
And he was up there doing his typical, Ed Ogeron stuff. He goes, every single coach has a shelf life, and mine was about 6 years. And I'm thinking to myself, Brian Kelly's going to be about 6 weeks. They're going to fire him. They're going to pay whatever they have to pay to get rid of him. They're already over him, and it couldn't happen to a better guy. I've heard more stories since he's shown up at LSU about him being just a scumbag in general. Did you see the thing with Lou Holtz?
Yep.
He said that he reached out to him several times, and while he was at Notre Dame, and Brian Kelly never had any time for him.
Brian Kelly's all about himself. He's a Looney Tune, self-condescending piece of crap.
So bullet dodge, Notre Dame fans. I think you've got a hell of a coach right now, and hopefully you can keep him there. And I thought Notre Dame looked really good. I didn't get to see the whole thing because we were doing a live draft. It was our old school draft where it's we're doing it on the board. So we're not
the best draft.
Yeah, it was good, but I made a terrible decision. We tried to do it outside by the pool, and it never got fully organized, and most of us were half drunk. So we should have done it inside like we did it before, which we will do next year. We were trying to have fun with it and make it a pool thing, but it's just so poorly lit. And then you don't have access to your computer because you're outside. And I'm going, I don't know, this guy's still there. So
where's my drink?
Exactly. Yahoo ranks your drafts afterwards. That was by far my worst draft. It wasn't close.
The stickers are getting all wet when you try and put them up there.
That sounds like a challenge. Meanwhile, Brian and Bobby are sitting at home because we were Zooming them, and they've got access to computers, and they're, they had a huge advantage compared to us five morons out there in the dark. Going, who is this? I'll take them. And then one guy didn't show up, so we made sure that we drafted him Gronk.
Cam Newton and Gronk.
How do you not show up to a live draft?
because he got drunk. He tried to play the I've got a family card, but he got drunk, forgot about it.
Jeez.
That's basically that's the short of it. I got a family. Like you also got a handle in you too. That's what you got. You can't call me drunk telling you I'm like wastoid. Anyways, we move on from that.
Your Ed Orgeron accent, you should stick to that one though. That was a pretty good one by you. I got to give you a little kudos there.
He shows up on the show from time to time.
In the commercial
because he's unemployed. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Maybe we'll make that a segment. What would Ed Orgeron do?
Yeah, I'm all with it.
I love the interview because he was just joking around, jovially just joking around. It was awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and transition a little bit to the National Football League because we got the college football. That once again, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Florida, Kentucky, to me, those are the two big games. And I've got this sneaking feeling because they've been way too cocky. The Tennessee is in upset alert. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen this week of Tennessee fans going, "We're going to be outstanding. We're our baseball team." This guy was on I forget the name of the show, but he was on some show that I see videos for all the time. And he's a big Tennessee fan. And he goes, "Y'all don't want Tennessee to be good, man. I'm tell you what, man. Let me tell you something. Our basketball team is one of the best in the country until March. And then our baseball team was one of the best in the history of college baseball." And the guy finally cuts him off. He goes, "Hold on. What you just told me was your basketball team was good until March, which who cares, right? And that your baseball team was one of the best in the history of baseball, but they couldn't get out of their own home super regional." The guy until he knew nothing about college baseball. He goes, "He's all super regional, like that's a big deal."
And then basketball, it's like
the World Series, you moron. What are you talking about?
Correct.
I mean,
and then March is when it matters in basketball. Yeah, we played good until it matters. It's like, come on.
I mean, dude, I try to pull for them as my second team, living up there for so long, but their fan base makes it hard.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I think of when I start hearing some schmo going like that, I'm like, this is the same crap that when I lived up in Tennessee for years, where they would say, "Dude, our football team is phenomenal as long as we're not playing," and they'll name them off. "As long as we're not playing Alabama, the Florida Gators, as long as we're not playing Auburn, because Auburn gives us LSU's pretty good too. They'll only like 10 teams, but outside of that, we're pretty good."
Well, you ain't making the playoff that way.
The national championship you've ever won was because Florida State's third string quarterback was on the field. A guy that when he came to Florida State, he was told by Bobby Bowden personally, "Don't come at me with when am I going to start? You're not a starter on this level of football." But Winky broke his neck and Kendra tore his knee. And here we go. Come on, Rooster. Let's go. Let's go. Anyways, that fan base will drive you nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Even Justin, dude, get 2 whiskey drinks in him. He's over there talking smack. You know what he told me the other day? We're shooting texts back and forth. And I'd made a joke because he had joked, or at least I thought he was joking, after Tennessee scored the first touchdown against Ball State. We had just done a show the night before where he said, "I'm hoping 8-4, 9-3. I was like, "Dude, I think this team could go 10-2. They're that explosive." He said, "Yeah, whatever." The next night, they score the first touchdown against Ball State. He goes, "Screw that and out of your bus. We're legit." So when Florida State upset LSU, I copied and pasted that same text word for word and sent it to him. The next day, so he's not even drinking. The next day, "Man, I think you're getting ahead of yourself." So I had screenshot it and sent it to him. I was like, I was quoting this moron. You remember this guy? He goes, "That's different, man." He goes, "You barely won." He goes, "We had a convincing victory." I said, "Against Ball State." And we're going back and forth. He goes, but LSU, I said, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me the SEC is the best conference in America and LSU is one of the best teams in the SEC year in and year out. We go into LSU. I know it was New Orleans, but it was a home game.
Yep.
Beat them in LSU. Beat them on the line of scrimmage. Wasn't like we got a bunch, couple of lucky interceptions, pick sixes. You can't have it both ways. I said, we had a convincing win against Duquesne. That's the difference between Duquesne and Ball State. But anyways, that's your Tennessee. That's your Tennessee fan base, man. They are full of bull.
Ball State. What channel does Ball State play on? ESPN Deportes?
I can't help but do my bad George Costanza impression. If you flip over on SEC Now or SEC Nation, it's SEC Network. It's their version of the kickoff show. The girl on the left, I don't know her name. I've seen her a couple times on ESPN. If you flip over there, so right now a guy's talking in the middle. There's a guy to the right, the girl to the left. Worst impression you'll ever hear of George Costanza, but she's bald. She's bald, Jerry. Bald.
McGee's got all the impersonations going.
What's going on with this?
Love it.
We don't even try anymore. We don't put a ball cap on. We don't put a wig. Bald.
George Costanza.
Bald. I was bald.
We got the next Frank Caliendo right here.
Watch out, man. Will Smith's gonna come at me. I'll choke him out. I wish Will Smith would try to come over and girl slap me on stage. Bum rush the show, man.
Give him a little wrestling move.
Oh, dude, he'd get freaking pummeled.
Yes. Oh, I'm taking you minus 550.
I would go straight Curly from Three Stooges to let's
I'm going McGee
That's
knockout.
my 15 seconds of fame. Let's go, baby.
McGee knockout minus 550. I'm putting my money on it.
I know one thing. I wouldn't have just stood there. I know that. You might whip my ass, but you're gonna find out I was there. You're gonna know. I'll be like Dan Campbell. I'll be biting kneecaps. All right. Let's move on to the National Football League.
Where did we go?
Exactly. It's my fault. Bald. He's bald.
We're having fun here. That's all that matters.
All right. National Football League. Now we'll get into fantasy later. Got the fantasy guys coming around. We just don't have enough time with these shows, guys. But and we're going to dive a little bit more into college football when Bobby gets on. But before Joey has to run out of here and get his nails did or whatever it is that he has to go do.
Jeez.
It's my feet today. Get it right. Sheesh.
Give me a couple of games, a couple of spreads that are catching your eye, because week 1 is so difficult in the National Football League, because if you don't trust anybody in your life, never trust the Las Vegas line. But week 1, what you think you know is not what you know.
Correct.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's got to say here. What you got?
You know, when I look at I just couldn't believe this when I saw the spreads. I know, the Bengals are coming off going to the Super Bowl and all that. Joe Burrow is healthy. The weapons, another year in the system. Things are looking good. But in a division game against Pittsburgh and they're getting 7 points, I'm always going to take Mike Tomlin and 7 points, especially without, I know they don't have the best quarterback play, but Ben Roethlisberger, he looked worse than some of us on this show at times last year. So I think that defense is very stout in Pittsburgh. Like McGee said, we don't know much, so I could be completely wrong. But when you're getting a touchdown in a rivalry game, divisional game, I think Pittsburgh's going to come out with, a lot to play for. It's going to be a lower scoring game. I don't see the Bengals putting up a ton of points. Not saying I say the Steelers are going to put up a lot, but I really like, and I will not bet against Mike Tomlin getting 7 on the road against Cincinnati. So that one caught my eye more than any other game spread-wise at this point in time. The Pittsburgh Steelers +7.
Steelers +7. I don't know what to make of them this year until I see them play one game. I'll be honest. Yeah. That is one of those teams that I'm just like, man, you could convince me of anything of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can convince me they're going to go winless. You could convince me that they're going to win the division and make a run deep into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Tones, what game's got your eye?
One interesting matchup that does catch my eye week 1 of the NFL season, and I get it. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, but man, they're going on the road against a tough Arizona team, one that I think will underachieve a little bit this year, but it is week 1. Arizona's getting 6.5 points at home against Kansas City. That's a lot of points at home for week 1.
No Tyreek Hill.
2 playoff teams, Kansas City's one of those teams that they look a lot newer, as you alluded to. No Tyreek Hill. It might take him 2 to 3 weeks to get their feet completely underneath him. And Arizona's coming in, their momentum's going to be high. They just got Kyler Murray doing extension, Cliff Kingsbury doing extension. They got Hollywood Brown in the building, JJ Watt's back. So they got a lot of pieces churning for them, at least for week 1, until they have their second half of the year collapse. But I'd keep an eye on Arizona at least covering, getting that 6.5 points at 4:25 Eastern time.
That Sunday night football game, Bucks Cowboys, that's a big one, but nothing's bigger than Jaguars Commanders, 1:00.
Carson Wentz playing against Jackson.
That's what we're going to be stuck with watching here locally. God bless America.
Hey, at least it's week
Commanders,
1.
Let's go.
At least it's week 1.
Oh. What the hell does that mean?
Well, you have hopefuls.
They'll be playing even sloppier than normal.
One team's going to be over 500 by the matchup ends, at least. Something you might not be able to say too far down the road.
All right, so a game that actually has my interest, week 1. There's not some great matchups, but they probably do that intentionally because they're like, you know what? Who cares? Because they're going to watch week 1 no matter what.
Yep.
Raiders Chargers. We talked about that earlier. I really like that game. We talked about Cardinals Chiefs. Man, Browns Panthers. I want to see a part of that game.
I agree. I was looking at it.
I want to see Baker Mayfield mash them. I think everybody in America who's not from Cleveland, Ohio, is pulling for the Carolina Panthers tomorrow. Am I wrong?
Maybe not, Tones.
I want Cleveland, but I wouldn't mind.
No, that's for a selfish. They're in your division reason, but
I still wouldn't mind.
Honest engine, wouldn't it make you happy to see? Because man, the Panthers aren't a freaking threat. Wouldn't it make you happy to see the Browns get beat by get beat by Baker Mayfield?
It would be nice. It would be beautiful, honestly. That is the thing. I don't think Carolina
would be right. It would be beautiful.
Legit contender.
I have Baker Mayfield's initials tattooed on me for the rest of my life, so I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield all the way thick and through. So
you got bowel movement. Why did you get a bowel movement tattoo?
Long story short, lost a bet when Oklahoma.
What's her name? What's her name? Spill it.
When Ohio State had JT Barrett,
corner. What?
It's a long story, but at the end of the day,
she loved me. What?
Bethany McClune. She hates me.
We're getting this is crapola. We're getting Jaguars, Commanders, and Patriots, Dolphins early games locally, and then I just saw Packers, Vikings, Chiefs, Cardinals. What? We don't get Raiders, Chargers. Chiefs, Cardinals is fine. I can't get that into. I mean, other than maybe some fantasy reason, but for that you got red zone.
Correct.
Any other games really jump out at y'all?
Yeah, I do have another one that's interesting to me, and I think Broncos should clean them up. But the Monday Night Football game, Russell Wilson going back into Seattle, those emotions will be high there after Wilson has played his whole career there. I do think Denver ends up rolling Pete Carroll and company, but it's never easy to play in Seattle, so you never know.
Let's talk about that Bucks Cowboys game. What's your feeling in that? I mean, I know you are going to pick the Bucks to win. I've never known you not to, but they're giving up 2.5 in Tampa. I mean, if you think they're going to win, you'd think they're going to cover the spread. It's only 2.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
what's your biggest concern going into that game?
Biggest concern is going to be how our offensive line gels in week 1. It's 3 out of 5 are new faces, although Shaq Mason's coming in, Tom Brady's old Super Bowl offensive guard in New England. Now he's coming to Tampa. Sure, that's a minor upgrade over Alex Kappa, but when you lose your center for a little bit, you lose your left guard for a little bit. Oh, 2 Pro Bowlers, might I add in at that. You're going to see a lot of new faces. Luke Godeke, left guard rookie, second rounder from Central Michigan. We'll see how he fares in the lineup. Notre Dame Golden Domer in his second season. Robert Hainsey didn't play a lot last year, but he will be our starting center on opening day. And you know that Dallas front 7 is ferocious. They got Micah Parsons. They got Van Der Esch up there. They got Barr to rush the passer. They got Lawrence out there as well. They're going to be coming hot and heavy. They're going to be rushing on the interior offensive line. I don't think they try and go at Donovan Smith or Tristan Wirfs all that much. You're going to be bringing the boys inside against our 3 new guys. So I really think it'll be a battle of the trenches on both sides of the ball, because Dallas is without a couple starting offensive linemen as well. So the big boys are going to make all the difference in this one.
I see the Colts are a 7-point favorite in Houston. Now, look, I know the NFL, sorry, but that seems kind of undervalued. Like, if I had to pick one way or the other, I'm taking the Colts to cover. What say you, Joey?
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be a wild statistic, but unfortunately, the Colts have not. They have started 0-1 every season since 2013. We hope to break that streak this year, as that obviously would be year 9. Texans, I know they're, Lovie Smith, they're talking Davis Mills, they like this, they like that. But at the end of the day, I think the Colts just have much more talent at a lot of elite positions. I mean, when you have on defense DeForest Buckner, Yannick Ngakoue, I know Shaq Leonard's out tomorrow, but he has a good backup. I don't think that's going to hurt as much people think. Stephon Gilmore at the corner position, he'll be able to take Cooks out of the way a decent amount of the time. I think you're going to see the Colts play pretty good tomorrow. They're going to come in ready to go. And if I had to bet this game, I'm not going to, because I'm just so scared of that 8-year streak of never winning week 1. I would take the Colts and give up the points. Why not, right? I mean, I am a Colts fan at the end of the day, but in all honesty, Matt Ryan, Jonathan Taylor, and the boys, I'm hoping we beat the Texans last year 65-3 in the games combined. I know last year means 0, but they don't have a much different team, Houston. There's only
they got Nico Collins, man. Watch out. That's why I don't understand the 7 points, I guess, because it's on the road, first game. I get it. I guess they're afraid if they make the line too high, everyone's going to jump on the Texans. But
I think it's the biggest spread of the week.
And Sean O'Toole's on fire in the chat this morning. he's
coming at Bobby's Cardinals too, even
roasting everybody, man.
He's on. Is he joining the show today?
Yeah, he's top of the hour. Him and Trosh. Bobby is joining us here at the bottom of the hour.
The Lions guy giving all the crap. Unbelievable.
I don't recall an NFL week 1 with such blasé matchups. Like, you look at it as far as like from a national perspective standpoint,
right?
The only thing that really gets me interested and want to see Raiders Chargers is very interesting to me. I think Chiefs Cardinals can be very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to know what the Chiefs look like without Tyreek Hill. And everybody wants to know, did Kyler Murray actually look at the playbook this offseason? Browns and Panthers has the revenge factor. Don't even try to do Ravens Jets as revenge factor. Did you hear the comment? They asked Lamar Jackson.
What'd he say?
If he knew that Joe Flacco was going to be the starting quarterback, and
Oh,
he chuckled. He said, yeah, man, I know who the starting quarterback is. And so no one could figure out from the context, was he laughing like, yes, I know who I'm going up against, or was he laughing like, yeah, man, Joe Flacco sucks. Like,
And I heard a rumor too that the Jets are only starting him over Mike White because Jets fans would go crazy and start a controversy between White and Wilson who should be starting there. So that's why
I think Jets fans learned their lesson of that when they had the Mike White love, and then he turned around against the Colts on that Thursday night game.
Yep.
And threw like 28 interceptions. They said, never mind. I listened to a couple of Jets fans pretty regularly, and they were talking about how they were hyping it up and let's go Jets. And when, Mike White, this, Mike White, that, and they go to the game, they go, oh, this sucks.
but he's a better option than Flacco to win.
No, you know why they're doing it is because Flacco's a game manager. He gives them the best chance to win.
Mm.
If it was long term, I think you're right. You just let Mike White go and say, dude, when you start stinking, we're going to put Flacco in. But they're looking at giving themselves a puncher's chance to win. I still think the Ravens, even if it doesn't look like Dobbins will play, but we'll get into that later. I still feel like they're going to just physically pound them and slowly pull that game out. What's the line on that? 6.5?
Yeah.
I get why it's only 6.5, but I still would favor the Ravens in that.
Oh, absolutely.
But one of the more intriguing games, and you don't say this very often, Lions-Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Honest engine, I want to see that game, and I'm really disappointed that's not one of the games locally. And until next year, can't get the ticket. Cannot wait till next year. I don't care who gets it, I'm getting it. I don't care what the price is, I'm getting it. I'm not going to sign up for DirecTV and sign my soul away to get the stream, but
I like the Lions getting the points at home in that one too. I know it's not a hard knock. It's not a Hard Knocks crush because I didn't really watch Hard Knocks this year, but it's week 1, man. If Dan Campbell is his boys ready to play this year, it's going to be week 1. And the Eagles, I do think they could be effective this season, but it'll be an interesting start to see how Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts.
Look, the Eagles 5-point favorites don't fall for that, man. I think the Lions have a very good chance, not just covering, but winning the game.
Correct.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are being slightly overrated by a lot of people, but time will tell.
Cincy and Pittsburgh's not a bad one, but man, there's a lot of duds on this schedule. Games you're like, man, could they have put some of the duds together in week 1? Like they did a good job putting the Jaguars and Commanders playing each other. Get them out of the way. Nobody cares. But like, can we get a couple more just exciting matchups? And there really aren't there.
Like Giants, Titans. Oof.
You have to look to convince yourself that it's a good lineup. Joey, what is your walk-off for the day?
My walk-off is, we're in week 2 now. The slate, not that great today, I know, but man, we're all living for tomorrow. We've been waiting all off season for this. All of our teams are at the same point. I don't care if you're the Bucs or you're the Detroit Lions. Everybody is on the same page going into tomorrow at 1 Eastern time, and I'm just really looking forward to it. Can't wait to watch the game with my pops and Tones, and hopefully Colts get a victory tomorrow. As I said, it's been 8 years since they've won week 1, so it's a drought to say the least. Go Colts, and have a good rest of your show, gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, brother. Bobby is joining us. We're going to take a really quick break. Got to pay some bills. We'll be back in a flash here on CBS Radio, Armchair Quarterbacks 1 on YouTube if you want to watch it live.
We'll be right back.
TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, and Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
If only the world was less like this.
I could use a smoke.
Hey, put that out.
And more like this.
I could use a smoke.
You murderer!
Smoking kills unless you kill first. If you're around a smoker, you will die. Smokers may look relaxed and like they're having fun. Don't believe it. Vote yes on Proposition 421. Let's outlaw smoking everywhere, even in people's homes, and allow honest citizens to legally kill anyone who smokes. Let's live in a world without smokers. Prohibition works. Let's prove it. It's time to smoke the smokers. Vote yes on Proposition 421.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. And doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit. And everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Bro, Blake, play for the love of the game, man. What's wrong with you, bro? Money should not be a thing. Bro, I'm risking my life. So imagine how much I'm actually making to play. You know what I'm saying? If I get the Rona, guess what happens with that? More Twitch streams for us. That's facts.
Armchair.
Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk the betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. Welcome back. CBS Sports Radio, YouTube Live. Want to catch us every single week? Go to Armchair Quarterbacks 1, our channel on YouTube, youtube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. And then we are in different affiliates from time to time. So if you're going to catch us every week, YouTube is where to catch us. Welcoming on the show is Mr. Bobby. Bobby, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. My Braves are in first place for the first time all season. Seminoles are somehow undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And the Titans have not lost yet. So I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Both of our college teams are looking good so far. So
yeah,
can't be too upset.
Let me ask you something. Had it jotted down here. I don't know where it is. But oh, here we go. Craziest stuff I heard all week. David Pollack from ESPN compared your boy Anthony Richardson to the next Josh Allen. What say you?
I don't like the Allen comparison because the arm strength isn't there yet, at least. I look at more of a Cam Newton comparison. I think he's better on the ground. I think he's more like Cam Newton on the ground.
So you're saying that he'll get caught stealing laptops at Florida as well?
Without the laptops. And he'll win with us, not with Auburn.
Will he have quite the fashion sense that Cam Newton had?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
I just thought it was a crazy comparison because Josh Allen is, I mean, to me, right now, if you're going into a lab and sculpting the perfect quarterback, it's Josh Allen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know people are going to, happens every time. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's not very accurate, my man. You know, if you could give Lamar Jackson Josh Allen's accuracy and arm strength, then I'm all for it.
Well, that'd be like the best player ever.
Yeah, exactly. That would be almost be unfair. It would, you know, what it would be like? It would be like what people try to tell you Michael Vick was.
Yeah, be like
Michael
a Madden
Vick was
player.
not that player, but they try to tell you Michael Vick was.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Richardson. I don't know. And honestly, I mean, I'm okay with not comparing him to Allen because in college, Allen, I mean, he was good, but he wasn't, you know, one of the best quarterbacks. Like, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm not going to make any comparisons with Anthony Richardson yet. I don't want to jinx anything. The closest thing I see to him is Cam Newton, though, and he had a good college career, so I'm happy where things are at.
Bobby, are you reading Sean O'Toole's comments about
what's he saying?
Of course, I believe he's aging himself here because I don't know if this still exists. Tiger Beat, does Tiger Beat still exist? Are you familiar with the term Tiger Beat?
I'm familiar. I don't think it still is out there though.
I figured he was. Tiger Beat was it was a very popular magazine in the 80s into the 90s. That's the last time I remember hearing about it, but that was because, you know, who pays attention to it once you hit a certain age? Tiger Beat was specifically for teenagers. So it was like, I don't know how to explain it. Almost like a People magazine, but for teenagers. So there was no hard hitting news. So I guess People magazine may not be the right term, but it was a magazine a lot of girls would get for, you know, their crushes, whether it was a boy band or whatever. They would come with posters. They'd hang their posters in the beat. So that was known as Tiger Beat. But anyway, Sean said, Bobby's hatless. This has turned into a Tiger Beat podcast.
The man's been hatless all year. Leave my man's alone.
I think
no more hat.
I think Sean's been sipping back the little something here this morning, man.
Grandpa's old cough medicine getting tipped over early.
Anyways, I just thought that was the craziest thing I had heard all week. I mean, there's other things, but when I hear something like that, I got to jot it down and get y'all's reaction. What did he just say? Josh Allen.
Yeah, and that one is like Josh Allen. I remember watching his
Josh Allen for the Jaguars or Josh Allen for the Bills? What are we talking about?
I remember watching his last college game ever in Wyoming. It was a bowl game on a Friday, and they were just hyping him up then, although he didn't have the greatest college stats and numbers. They seen his potential there. I think there is potential with Anthony Richardson. I don't think you could compare him to Josh Allen just yet. As Bobby alluded to, he's a little bit of a different player at this point in time as well. So I do think he's ascending up everyone's draft boards rather quickly, however.
So SEC Nation, wherever they're at, they have food out and they're showing it off and whatnot in these baskets. Like it's fine cuisine. First of all, it's all fried. Second of all, it's very obvious that the majority of it is coming out of a bag. Like perfectly shaped boneless wings and whatnot. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Tyson chicken nuggets.
They must be in Nashville, because I'm seeing Vanderbilt shirts. So, I mean, it's got to be.
There's no other place.
So I'm thinking maybe they're trying to show off Nashville fried chicken, hot chicken. But, I mean, half the stuff they're showing, you can tell comes out of a bag. I know because I used to work at these restaurants. You can always tell the difference between a real fried pickle and one of ones that are perfectly shaped. You know what I mean?
Correct.
You know, and Honest Engine, the ones that are perfectly shaped, the chip ones are actually better, but you don't show that off. Like, look at this Whopper. Isn't this flame grill? Isn't this great? Stupid hillbillies. All right. And I say that I can say that because I am one. All right. Let's get into the Gators. Let's get into the Wildcats. I think this is one of the more, to me, if I could only watch one game today, this would be it. If I could watch two, Tennessee, Pittsburgh would probably be number two. But to me, this is the game in college football. It's got nothing to do with the rankings. It's wanting to know how good is Kentucky, how good is Florida, and they're usually pretty good contests. Florida's a 6-point favorite tonight. What say you, Bobby, on your Gators?
Well, starting off with the number 12 ranking, I'm not displeased by it at all. I'm happy with it. I think it might be a little bit of it's a big jump.
Not ranked to leapfrogging everybody because you beat a Pac-12 team. I'm sorry, nothing against the Gators, but it's an absurd overreaction.
Look, I'm fine with it as long as it doesn't get to their heads. I do think
that's
it's a bit high, but
I'm hoping we're all getting from the back.
But no, I think this should be a great game. In my opinion, the best game to watch for this week. You got a good quarterback matchup with Richardson and Levis. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping for a Florida win. I'm expecting a Florida win. They looked good last Saturday, so yeah, I think we should pull out a win today.
I really think Kentucky has a puncher's chance. They're going to have to control the ball. They're going to have to do boring Kentucky type things, which is run the ball between the tackles, not turn the ball over, not make stupid mistakes on defense. They're going to have to win a boring game. What is the over under in this? 52? That's actually a little high for me. Not by much, but I think this is going to be a slobber knocker. I also haven't checked because, man, we've been getting rain every single day around here. Gainesville is not that far away from here. Let me see what the weather's going to be like tonight, because that could play a huge factor in this game.
Could get a little wet in the swamp down
I mean,
there.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't buy the hype on the Sunshine State. It rains here every day. Now, a lot of times it's only rains for a little bit, but here recently, last couple of weeks, it'll like rain all damn day, or it's cloudy as hell, so the rain never dries up. See, Gainesville today. I'll pull it up here in a second, but give me a score on that game.
27-21 Florida.
27-20. It looks like we're going to get good weather. Looks like it's going to be clear all, man, what the hell? Clear all day long in Gainesville?
It's a miracle.
Where the hell's our rain coming from? Is it just coming from outer space and landing on us? Because it normally has to come across Gainesville to get to us from the Gulf.
It's called the Tony Agolini game day effect. He hired some people, and
So they're saying it looks like it's going to be clear all day long, which means you're going to get a dry field. What was the score you gave me again?
I'll say 27-21.
I think Florida wins 23-20. I'll go with something goofier. Let's say 23-18. Kentucky makes really dumb mistakes, goes for it on 2-point conversions when they shouldn't, and Florida barely covers the spread. But I do not feel – if I was going to take the spread one way or the other, I would take Kentucky plus the 6 because I feel like it's going to be that kind of game. So, I mean, hell, that's actually pretty good news for you. I was thinking it was going to be sloppy, and that kind of plays into the hands of. I'm assuming Tony's going to the game. See, Tony's chiming in. Yeah, well, cool down is relative in Florida. It's going to be in the 80s, but I believe Florida will find a way to just. I don't think Billy Napier is going to do stupid things. I think he's just going to play very controlled football. And look, honest engine, Utah was probably the better team last week. That one blown play where Richardson just ran the entire field,
40-yard touchdown, yeah.
Because everyone else was, I don't know what they were doing. They were checking their social media, and he went running by him. And then the really dumb play call decision at the very end of the game. I mean, come on. You need a field goal to go to OT, and you're going to – that play was reminding me of when the Hurricanes threw the interception in the end zone in the 87 Fiesta Bowl against the Penn State Nittany Lions, where it was like into traffic. The only difference was that Canes had to. It was 4th down, and the guy was running for his life, right?
Yep.
He did not have to throw that pass. It was I just think it was a dumb play call. Everyone's bunched in together there in the end zone. It's going to be small windows. You either throw fades where only your guy can get it, You maybe try to run the football, but you don't throw it in the middle of traffic. A Utah college quarterback. Not since the days of Alex Smith has that been a good idea.
Yeah, I could see if the situation called for it, right? It's 4th down, you're down by 8. There's like 5 seconds left in the game. You're trying for a miracle, but the situation, they were a field goal away, like you said, from overtime, and then they'd have a little momentum going too. So just questionable decision making by Utah and their quarterback.
And honestly, in my mind, I was just hoping for overtime at that stage of the game. I was just hoping they weren't going to get in the end zone. We ended up winning in regulation.
There you go.
I mean, it's like I said, the Utah coaching staff wears that one. It was an absolutely just terrible, terrible play call. And I'm not going to kill a college kid for making a stupid play. I'm going to kill the coach for putting him in a stupid position.
That's fair.
Understand how this radar, I got to see this. So I'm looking at the radar from Jacksonville to Gainesville, and it's saying it's going to rain all damn day. It's going to come over Gainesville. What are they talking about? All right, whatever.
We'll see what happens.
They have the clouds doing this around Gaines. Just go. We'll meet you back in the middle over to Jacksonville or whatever. We'll see. I don't think it's going to rain during game time, but it's calling for dry all day long in Gainesville, and somehow it's going to rain all evening long in Jacksonville. That just can't happen when it's all coming from the Gulf Coast. All right. Anyways, we move on. That's our finish on the Weather Center. I'm pissed off because I want to watch the ball games in the pool and drink some beer. I'm like, son of a gun. Got to get all that out of your system by like 3:00 here locally. All right. Or just, risk it, and no risk it, no biscuit. Look, man, you might get electrocuted, but it'll only be one time. So, lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
You might survive.
may not. Who knows? All right. Other games, Tennessee, Pittsburgh. I do want to get into this. We haven't really talked about it much. Y'all give me your idea of, look, I think it's going to be an extremely high scoring game. I think 62.5 is a pretty low number. Just not willing to take the over because it's such a high number. Then you're like stressing the whole game. But what's y'all's opinion on Tennessee, Pittsburgh? It's in Pittsburgh, 3:30 kickoff, ABC game of the week. Pittsburgh's returning a lot. They didn't look that great against West Virginia, but they did find a way to win. Tones, I'll start with you. Tennessee, Pittsburgh, who you got?
Yeah, I'm shocked that backyard brawl was actually as good of a game as it was, as I thought Pittsburgh was a little overranked coming into the year myself personally. I know they have a lot of returners, but when you lose your best player who's a quarterback, that hits home. So I look for actually Tennessee to sneak out on this one. I do think it's going to be a close game, but I was not too impressed with Pittsburgh last week, and I thought they actually got pretty lucky securing that victory. A couple calls were close at the end of that game, couple debatable catches and whatnot. So I think Pittsburgh trips over their own feet this game. I don't think they get blown out by any means. I do think they compete close at home and whatnot, but I like Tennessee in a very close and a very good matchup here in the middle of the college football Saturday slate. I got Pittsburgh losing this one. I think it'll be Tennessee 30-24. I got Tennessee coming out on top in this one.
I've got Tennessee a little higher scoring game, but not covering the spread. I'll go with something like 42-38. I really want these two teams to be undefeated, Florida and Tennessee, in 2 weeks. I normally don't pull for Florida, but I'm kind of pulling for Florida to beat Kentucky because we have not had a meaningful Tennessee-Florida game in years. And that game should be a lot of fun. Bobby, what say you in this matchup?
I got Tennessee 35-27. I think that covers the spread, and I think that does hit the over on points. I might be wrong, but at least close to it. I think Tennessee's got this one. I don't think Pitt's anywhere close to as good as they were last year, obviously losing Jordan Addison and Pickett. And I think Tennessee's just a better team. They've got a nice offense. So I got them winning. And I'm hoping, like you said, both teams are undefeated because I might.
Hooker looks like the real deal, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a solid quarterback.
They've got Pittsburgh this weekend, next week in Akron, so essentially a bye week at home, and then comes the gauntlet. Florida at home. They do get a week off at LSU and at home against Alabama.
I don't know. Is that LSU game going to strike fear in Tennessee fans?
I think it should, because no matter how you look at it, and I know people are going to downplay Florida State beating LSU. Man, LSU still usually top 5, top 10 recruiting class. So they've got athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And what surprised me the most about the Florida State game, not that they won, it was in the fashion that they did it. They dominated the LSU line.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see that coming at all. I thought we were going to have to do a lot of misdirections, dink and dunks, bubble screens, that kind of thing to move the ball. And Florida State looked like the team that had been recruiting what. Now, look, we've done very good, the transfer portal, but still LSU always has these incredible athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's going to have, it's also in LSU. I don't know. They don't have a time yet, but if that's a night game, that's a tough place to play.
That would be a tough twister. Yeah.
And regardless, they're going to be battered and bruised, and they have to play Alabama the next week. I think they've got a much better chance of going into Baton Rouge and winning that game, because they're going to have the week off, then going into, and this kind of goes without saying, but like going into Athens later in the season, they don't have a week off in between Kentucky and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, that's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough, yeah.
Tennessee could have one of the better teams in the country and still end up 8-4. I mean,
they've got a tough schedule.
They have I call it a seesaw schedule. They have a lot of easy opponents, but they have several tough opponents. Florida, LSU, Alabama, Kentucky, Georgia. That's it. They've got 5 tough. Well, in Pittsburgh, if you want to count Pittsburgh, so they got 6 tough opponents, but the other ones are like gimmies.
Mm-hmm.
They should be able to boat race Vanderbilt. South Carolina sucks. Missouri sucks. UT Martin, come on now. Akron, come on. Now, come on. Ball
Fighting Zits.
Get real. Come on now. I don't care how Justin was. Ball State's not a football program. Just because it's in their name doesn't mean they can actually play ball. What other games have we not hit that y'all want to talk about today? Because I've kind of hit the college football ones that I really like.
Not that it's going to be a good game, but of course, Penn State, they play at noon.
Oh, okay.
Penn
State's fine. I thought we were going somewhere else.
They're dropping 28 against Ohio. Not that Ohio's great, but that'll be
at Michigan today. Oh,
yeah, Hawaii at Michigan. That could be like a.
What's 70. The line on that? 52.
That could be a 72-point game.
I don't think that's enough.
The line's 52 for the point total?
Minus 52. The over-under 67 or 67.
It should be like 70, the spread in that one.
52. You never see a line that high. Usually if it gets that high, they just take it off the board.
That is insane.
They're trying to trick someone into something. I can't tell if they're trying to trick people into taking Hawaii or they're trying to trick people into taking Michigan.
I could see it being like a 52-3 game, honestly, or something like that too.
They run the flying wedge every single play. I still think Michigan wins by 55.
Khaki Pants is on a mission again.
Absolutely. We're gonna do stupid underdogs here when the other guys jump on. Before we do that, I do want to get one take from, because I haven't asked. I know, Bobby, you're a bit of a baseball fan. You're a Rays fan. They're back in it, right? They're not just in it for the wild card. They got an outside chance of grabbing everything, and there would be nothing greater than watching the Yankees crumble and the Mets crumble at the same time. In June, it was like we all dancing to the playoffs and watch them have to fight it out in the wild card. But the rules changes that are going to take place next year. They're making the bases a little bigger. That might be the most meaningless one. The pitch clock, that's the one I hate the most because it feels artificial. But I love the fact that they're banning the shift What say y'all?
I actually like the fact that they're banning the shift as well. Some people have asked me why, and it's a fair question, but to me, it kills lefties. It kills some of the strategies of actual baseball. And in my opinion, they have other alignments and disalignments banned in other sports. For football example, you get offsides penalties. Basketball, you get backcourt violations, etc. You never really seen anything like that in baseball before. But to me, I kind of compare the shift to those sorts of things, banning the shift at least. So I totally see why they're doing it, and it should help make the playing field a lot more even for those lefty hitters.
Tones, what is your lock of the week?
My lock of the week, gentlemen, I'm actually going with the Indianapolis Colts here, giving 7 on the road against Houston. I was in between them and Washington, but I can't take Wentz as my lock of the week, opening week. So I'm rolling with the Colts here. There's no excuses why they shouldn't win this game by at least 8 points. I know Joey was talking about how they're losing a lot of week 1 games as of late or whatever, but that just means the odds of probability should be that they finally win one. And you're going against a Houston team who they pretty much had a back into their head coach this year, Lovie Smith. They didn't want to hire this guy at all. Nothing against Lovie. He got ousted at U of I for a reason. He got ousted in Tampa for a reason. So Lovie is one of those guys who's past his prime. They wanted to hire a goofy coach, but they would have got ridiculed for it. So they went with Lovie Smith for now. I see this game being a big blowout in favor of the Indianapolis Colts.
All right, brother, what is your walk-off for the day?
We got a fun day of couple days of sports, I should say. And if you UFC fans are out there listening by chance, it's been a crazy shuffling of the card the past 24 to 48 hours on the pay-per-view tonight. UFC 279, 3 fights have changed. The main event has changed. I personally think the fights are better now. You do have some good ones. You got Tony Ferguson against Nate Diaz in the main event. You got Hamza against Kevin Holland in the co-main event. So those are 2 really good fights if you guys are looking for a little fight night action sprinkled in with college football and Major League Baseball. Just great to have all these sports on at once. And
I'm old school. If I'm looking for fight night action, I go bar hopping.
Hey, that's fair too, man. McGee, you'd end up on top a little out of those bar fights. I already know too, brother. So hey, you do you, my man. I'm not going to be worried.
If you're ever going to con me into watching UFC, it's not going to be during football season. I can't do it. Even if it's a stupid game on, I'm going to be locked in.
Well, that'll be on TV 3 or 4. It's not going to be on TV 1. So
at some point, man, NBC Peacock, boy, they're drawing the short straw today. Notre Dame, Marshall. Oof.
That doesn't get your bones chilled. That doesn't get you going.
You got a better chance of me watching Furman Clemson.
Hey, we could dig into Furman.
Marshall. All right, brother. We will see you next week. Great job. And when we come back, Cho should be joining us. We'll do stupid underdogs and get into fantasy football talk. Week number 1. Time to make some really bad decisions. We'll be back in a flash. Saturday mornings, the Armchair Quarterbacks, a Southern tradition like no other. We dive into the Southeastern Conference and the Southern teams in the National Football League. We talk to betting lines, fantasy football. So join us Saturday mornings and get your football weekend started right with the Armchair Quarterbacks, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, right here on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
G'day. Hi, it's Dean, calling from Cyprus.
Buongiorno, Dino.
My mate wants me to rub sun cream on his back.
Holy dooly. A delicate matter, but a burnt wingman is useless. So there are rules.
Okay.
Only put creamer he can't reach. Between his shoulder blades. The safe zone.
Anything else?
Whack it on thick, mate. Last thing you want to do is a second coat. And remember, Dino, the following things are not permitted. Eye contact. Scented candles. Power balance. And do not apply if he's wearing budgie smugglers. Are we all clear?
Crystal. Cheers, fellas.
No dramas.
Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, or all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
What happens when 5 eligible bachelors welcome a little girl into their lives?
Hey, it's my turn in the bathroom.
Non-stop hilarity. My 5 uncles.
Hey, Gina, welcome to your new home. You sleep in there, and we all sleep in here.
The show that shows family values exist even in unconventional families.
Oh, what are you guys doing in there?
Taking hilarious comedy in a whole new funny direction.
I don't get it. Why don't any of you guys have a steady girlfriend? I'm an emotionally abused orphan. Can I get in on any of these group hugs?
My 5 uncles. Thursday nights on LSBC.
Join the Armchair Quarterback Show for its 9th season. And this year, we're doing it all in one show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, we'll be talking college football, the SEC, the Big Ten, other big games of the day. We'll be diving into the National Football League, focusing on the Southern football teams and all the big matchups throughout the land. And doing it while covering the point spreads, the over-unders, the prop bets, fantasy football. We'll tell you who to start and who to sit. And everybody's favorite, the stupid underdog picks. We'll cover Major League Baseball all the way through October and beyond. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel. Good morning. Welcome back here to CBS Sports Radio. Looks like we're in 7 different cities this morning and YouTube Live. If you want to watch the show, Armchair Quarterbacks 1 on YouTube. That's youtube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. And joining on to the show is Mr. Sean O'Toole and Stephen Troche, alongside me and Bobby. Sean, how are you this morning, sir?
To the first weekend of the NFL season. The Two-Anon Hive is here. Woohoo! Fins up.
The what is? You broke up a little bit.
Two-Anon. The Two-Anon Hive. Tua, all the way. Let's go.
Tua, gotcha. Steven, how are you?
I'm doing great. Like Sean said, we got a 2-9 here, or like week 1 of football. I cannot wait for it.
Are y'all saying 2-9?
2-9. It's a Twitter page. It's it's basically like a Tua defender.
He's gonna start off 2-9. I can see that, or a 2 for 9, and Tyreek Hill's gonna
we're not talking about the Titans.
Walk out of the stadium. Forget what I said. By the way, did y'all see Pat McAfee's join the game day crew?
Mm-mm.
See, I guess he signed a deal to come back to do it after they ran him off. Dude, he's wearing one of those, what do they call it? The low-cut girl shirts, the V-necks, and some weird skinny chain, like gold chain. And what looks like on top of it that I can only say is a blouse that one of the Golden Girls are wearing. I'm trying to figure out what he's doing today. I don't know if he's just trying to push the envelope. He's like, I already signed the deal. What are you going to do?
Don't ask questions.
Anyways, I know he's popular. He just doesn't, man, he doesn't do anything for me. He just, to me, he's good for him, striking while the iron's hot. But to me, he's like a shock jock that just tries to get everyone's attention. But anyways,
he's a lot of shtick. He's like if Jim Rome was from West Virginia.
Yes. But he's got his loyal fan base. So, I get it. I just, when they announced that, I was like, ugh. Between him and Corso, man, that's just one more reason not to watch game day. Right. I only ever have it on just to make sure that something crazy isn't happening. The only thing worth watching game day anymore is to make sure the Washington State Cougar flag shows up and keeps their streak going.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and hit the stupid underdog picks. Catch everyone up on the standings. Nobody hit last week. Trosh and Joey did cover the spread, so they're +2. Everyone else is -2. So give y'all an idea in case you didn't catch it earlier. Joey and I ended up with the same pick. Vanderbilt +13. Duke 10 is Tones, and Doug took Appalachian State with getting 19. So we'll start this off. I guess we'll start it off with Bobby. What you got?
All right, I got Washington State +17.5 versus Wisconsin. I just don't quite trust Wisconsin to fully get 18 points ahead of Washington State and hold it for the whole game. I don't trust their offense enough to do that, so I'm going to go with Washington State.
So that's your stupid underdogs. So you're picking the upset is what you're doing. This isn't your lock. I just want to make sure we're clear. Okay.
Yeah.
So what time is that game? Washington State. 3:30.
My logic is if I don't get the 17.5, I'll at least get 2 out of it.
Yeah, it's showing 17.
Get back to the middle.
But fair enough. Gotcha. So 17 points. We go by the ESPN lines, the morning of the show. So if people are wanting to play along at home. So Wisconsin, 17 points. Man, that's their 3:30 game. Oof. They are struggling for some content. Sean, where are you going this week?
Off the board, I'm going to take Boston College, who's a 3-point dog at Virginia Tech. I am far more disturbed by Virginia Tech losing to Old Dominion. And Virginia Tech's transfer quarterback, Graham Wells, was at Marshall last year. I saw him with my own 2 eyes here in Murfreesboro against MTSU, and he is BAD bad. To quote Jean Ralphio in Parks and Rec, he is the worst. And he might throw a bunch more interceptions this week against Boston College. I'm not that worried about BC losing to Rutgers.
No, it's 2.5. You still want it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. 2.5. I'm just going by when everyone makes the call. I go to the scoreboard on it. Okay, so you're taking Boston College, and Trosh, what you got?
I'm going Georgia State over North Carolina. They are +7 right now. I mean, that was just it was fun to watch that game with North Carolina and Appalachian State, but man, that North Carolina defense is bad. Georgia State is a run-first offense. I really think they're just going to be able to have their way and really just control the game. 7 points.
I was wondering if anyone was going to take that.
Yeah,
I had my eye on. I ended up crossing a bunch of them out, and I can't read them, so I said I'll just go with Vanderbilt. I was taking Vanderbilt early in the morning. Joey comes right off the board. Vanderbilt. I go, son of a. So.
No, I feel you. I was thinking about taking Texas with that Alabama game, but I'm trying to go for a team that has a possibility of winning.
Yeah, I think that's the one that Angelo was trying to go with, and I said, "Show up or shut up." If you're not on the show that morning, I don't want to hear about your stupid underdog picks and your locks. I'm not keeping up with that crap this year. You're either on the show and we care, or you're not on the show and we don't care. Let me take this extra thing off because this looks like the Brady Bunch here with all these. Go off. What the hell's going on here? All right, it's gonna be easier to just do this then, I guess. All right. There we go. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. So next on the docket, we get the stupid underdogs. And by the way, y'all, I think I've said this already once this morning, but if you do want to do NFL, you can do stupid underdog NFL. Just it doesn't tend to be that popular because you don't get many point spreads and whatnot. So, all right. Lineups of integrity. That's what we got. And I've got this set up so we can actually share the screen. So I guess I'll go first because you're going to see my lineup and then we'll just kind of go from there. Bear with me 1 second. I got to. All right. Lineups of integrity. I'm going to go with, I'll go with mine first, I guess. And I don't see anyone else has put theirs in. Or have you? Okay. Well, how the hell do I pull it up? How do I pull up my actual team?
Go hit close.
Okay.
So hit edit.
Oh, gotcha. Makes sense. All right, so I'll go ahead and hit mine first. I won't be able to pull up y'all's because I can't see y'all's unless I, have the account number. So at that point, we'll just go to a fictional one. I guess this is the best way to do it. This shows all of them, right? I'm not missing any. Yeah. All right. So this is the reason why I'm wearing an Eagles jersey today. I'm going all in on the Eagles. Really like this game. And I'm going with Jalen Hurts at 6,800. Saved a little bit of money at quarterback. Went with Kamara in Atlanta. I feel like they're going to feed him. I might regret that decision. That's the only one I was a little on the fence about. DeAndre Swift. I'm going with the theory that this is going to be a fairly high scoring game and that the Lions will be able to control the ball. And with that offensive line, I expect Swift to have a big game. So I paired up Hurts with AJ Brown at 6,400 and Goddard, my tight end, at 4,500. And I almost had Andrews, and I did some finagling with it late last night. I'm trying to save some money so I can get some other big names in there. So I went Wan'Dale Robinson against the Titans. I'm big on him this year. I really think that he's a under the radar pick. And Romeo Doubs, just because he's so cheap, I really feel like this might be a Sammy Watkins game, but there was a $1,600 difference in the two. So that's why I went with Romeo Doubs. They were talking about the Sammy Watkins, 3 consecutive years, week 1 has gone off the charts. So if you're looking for someone that you can squeeze in at 4,600, Sammy Watkins to me is a good play. I wanted to get some CMC action. And so I'm kind of pairing up the fact that CMC and the Panthers are going to pound that boring ass Cleveland offense. And so I took the Panthers defense, and that's all I got. And I've got $0 to spare, as I typically do. I know a lot of people leave 100, 200, 300 on the board, whatever, but I always end up going, wow, that means I can go shopping a little more. And I switch guys out. That's just the way I do, man. I'm like, man, let me kicking myself in the grits if I end up saving a few bucks that I could have had CMC in there or whatever. All right. Let me go back and see if I can guess I won't be able to do this. Just go into a lobby, I guess. All right. Next person up. Who is ready?
I'm ready.
Good to go if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whoever's ready to jump in, and I'll find I'll find it as we go.
All right, Steven, you want me to go or you want to go?
No, I'll take it. So with my stack, I am attacking that KC Arizona game. I think it's in a dome. That's always good for fantasy production. I love the upside there. So I went Kyler Murray at 7,200, and I paired him with Marquise Brown. We got Rondale Moore has already been announced out with that hamstring injury. Zach Ertz is looking like he's going to be on a pitch count. There's already no DeAndre Hopkins. That's going to be a very limited target share out there. But with Kyler throwing, I'd say at least 40, 50 times. So, I mean, Marquise Brown's going to be popular, but I think that upside is just through the roof. My other receivers are Pittman, 5,500. And then also in that Kansas City, Arizona game, I paired it with Juju. He's looking like the number 1 target out there for Mahomes. I it's going to be a week-to-week thing, but I think Juju's looked the most consistent. I think he's got a really solid floor and a solid upside at 5,200. It's a phenomenal price. So my 2 running backs, I went DeAndre Swift like Dave. I love the potential of that game. He's at 6,800. And then I went Dallas Goddard at 4,500. I mean, we all talked about it like that enough. And then my other 2 spots, I went Aaron Jones, 6,700. No Allen Lazard. I think that's he's going to play a pivotal role on Sunday. And then on the other side of that game, I went Adam Thielen at 5,400. Everyone's going to be looking at Justin Jefferson. And I think just Thielen is good. Like he's guaranteed to score a touchdown. He's always that guy that when no one's looking, he'll score 2 touchdowns on only like 4 or 5 targets. But with the increase in the the pass expected there. I love the upside for Thielen. And then my defense, I went Jaguars. I think with Carson Wentz there, anything is on the table. You know, I like there's going to be turnovers. There's going to be sacks. I think there's possibility for a touchdown. And like Dave, I left nothing on the table.
All right. I couldn't keep up with you because you were going 100 miles an hour. So I was also trying to do 3 other things at once. So I'll try to keep up with the next one. Sean, what you got?
Stack, we've got a little bit of variance so far, which is nice to hear. I'm actually going with
quarterback, running back, so I can keep up. I should have mentioned that.
Quarterback, I went Derek Carr. David Carr, that'd be bad. Derek Carr, 5,900 against the Chargers for my running backs. I actually did try and cheap out here a little bit. I started with Travis Etienne at 5,600 going against the Commanders, who are still without Chase Young. I know that field sucks, but I think that Peterson will make an attempt to run the ball and get Etienne involved. And Elijah Mitchell at 5,400 at Chicago. I know why the Niners running backs are undervalued. It's because there's 406 of them. But Mitchell is usually the bell cow and tends to get a lot of carries closer to the goal line. Wide receiver, Devontae Adams at 8,100, stacking with my quarterback. No J.C. Jackson. I think the Chargers are going to have a hard time covering all of their receivers. And then I went Nico Collins at 4,200. If you've been listening, you've heard me mention Nico before, not just because he's a Wolverine, but I think he might actually be the best wide receiver in Houston's wide receiver room. And I think Davis Mills is going to find him often, especially if Cooks finds himself on Gilmore Island, which is likely. And then a little bit off the board, Elijah Moore, some savings here, $5,100. Elijah Moore in all of his non-Zach Wilson games last year had an average depth of target over 16 yards and averaged more than 8.9 fantasy points per week. That's not bad. I don't trust Flacco, but I also think they're going to be behind, and somebody's going to catch something there. At tight end, obviously, Darren Waller at 5,400 to complete my stack. Man looks like he's about to get paid. If it hasn't already been announced, I think it's being reported that he's agreeing to a new contract. That's always a good thing. I expect him to show up and show out against the compromised, LA Chargers linebacking core in front of what is basically going to be a home crowd for the Raiders because nobody's a Chargers fan. And then at my flex, I went DeAndre Swift at 6,800. Like McGee, I think this game could be up and down the field, and even if Philly's up early, I think Detroit will use Swift in the passing game like they have pretty much all year. And then for my defense, a little bit down the board, the Titans at 3,500. I don't love what the Titans have to do offensively, but I think they're going to run the ball right down the Giants' throat, and I think the Giants' offensive line is one of the 7 worst units in the NFL. And even without Landry for the year, the Titans and Vrabel are going to cook up some stuff and get to Daniel Jones early and often, who loves to fumble and throw interceptions.
That's the one that I had originally, but I couldn't squeeze it in. Once I did the finagling, I had to go 3,400. So I was like, son of a gun. Like I really wanted the Titans D. I really think that they're going to dominate. Dable can't work a miracle that quick. Okay, Bobby, let me clear the board here. And is there a clear button to make this faster? I guess there isn't. Where are you going?
All right, so start up top with quarterback. I got Tom Brady for 6,500, a safe choice. I think it's going to be a good game against Dallas. I think he'll put up some good points. Then running back, I'm getting Eckler for 8,200 against the Raiders. I think he could see the end zone 1 or 2 times maybe. It's the 29th ranked fantasy defense against running backs in fantasy, so I think he'll score. And then my running back 2, I got Miles Sanders for 5,400 against the Lions, who's the 30th against running backs in fantasy. I think if the Eagles start to run away with that game, they're going to be looking to give him the ball. And then my wide receiver 1, I got Michael Pittman at 5,500 against the Texans today. Wide receiver 2, I got Juju Smith-Schuster, 5,200 against my Cardinals. Our secondary is banged up. Byron Murphy's going into this game questionable. So we could be looking at Marco Wilson and Christian Matthew being our 2 best corners, which is not good for our secondary. So I think Juju's going to have a big game. And then my wide receiver 3, I got him for 4,700, Sammy Watkins. Obviously, Lazard, he's doubtful going into this game. And like you mentioned earlier, Watkins is known for having big week ones. So I think 4,700 is a good value. And then tight end, I got Travis Kelce at 6,600. I think he's going to be another good pass catcher for the Chiefs on Sunday. don't think the Cardinals are going to have a good Sunday. I think both those guys are going to be putting up big points. And if I could have afforded Mahomes, I would have gotten him with those two. Then my flex, I got Michael Thomas. Going into this game, questionable. So I guess if he gets ruled out, I would edit that, or I would have edited that. But yeah, I got Michael Thomas at 5,700. I like the upside here. We all remember how good he was when he was healthy back in 2019. So if we can get something close to that, I think 5,700.
I'll tell you what,
value.
if for some reason someone's copying this and they want a different option, I'm looking at it right now. There's a couple of good options at 5,700. You got Pitts at 5,700, which would be a good flex. And I think it's worth a dart throw for Mooney, because you got to figure Chicago's going to be trailing that game. I just, before I do any Bears offense, man, I have got to see it look better than what it did at the end of the season last year.
Well, and then defense, speaking of the Bears, I had to go all the way down the board for this one. I got them for 2,200 as my defense. They're one of the cheaper options, but they're going up against a very unproven quarterback, so there's potential for some interceptions there, and it could be a somewhat low-scoring game. So
it's gonna be the Jimmy G.
Yeah, I got the Bears for 2,200.
Series too. All right. Let's do a team build real quick, and then we'll jump on to the next thing. We need to be pretty quick about this though. Let's go and Trosh, we'll let you start first.
Oh, that was a mistake. So we're going all in on week 1. Give me Baker.
Baker. And what are you stacking them with? More?
No, give me Robbie Anderson.
The guy that hates his quarterback. Okay. It's a bold move, Cotton. All right.
From everything I've been seeing, Denzel Ward's going to be shadowing DJ Moore, and I'd rather take the chance on the big play with Anderson. And plus, I'm thinking someone's going to go C-Mac.
All right. So, Bobby, what you got?
All right. Since we saved some money there, I'll spend some here. I'll go with Eckler. I think he's going to have a huge game against the Raiders defense this week. I think he has potential to be the best running back, or the highest scoring running back this week in fantasy.
Yeah, I was torn between him and CMC, but when I saw that I could squeeze CMC, that revenge game, I was just, come on, let's go.
I'm going to go with Eckler, though, save a little bit, a couple $100, I think. I think he's going to be putting up a lot of points on Sunday.
All right. Sean, what you got?
Go and run off the board just a little bit, and I'm going to grab us a tight end. And I'm going to grab one that's going to save us a little bit of money. I'm going to grab Robert Tonyan at $3,900 in Green Bay. Group of unproven receivers, guys that Rodgers isn't super familiar with, aside from Lazard. He's very familiar with Tonyan, and he could get some looks. Minnesota's linebackers are awful. They gave up a lot of points last year.
I'm really surprised nobody picked Hawkinson against the Philadelphia defense. They've given him the most points of the last 3 years to tight ends. I couldn't fit him in. And plus, once I went Godair, I was like, how many tight ends do I want in one game? But I'm really surprised that nobody went there. I'm going to take a running back, save us some money. Give me Tony Pollard, 5,600. There's talk about he's going to be in the slot. I'm hoping I think it's going to be another high scoring game like it was last year to start off the Bucks and Cowboys. So give me Pollard. Trosh, what you got?
I talked about my love for him earlier. Give me Adam Thielen, 5,400. Just got to get some correlation with Tonyan in that Green Bay, Minnesota game.
All right. Bobby.
I'm going to go with Juju as one of our receivers. I think he's a steal at 5,200. I think he's going to have a field day against the really injured Cardinals secondary.
And Mr. Sean.
Some wiggle room to grab a defense, and I'll leave the flex up to you, McGee.
We got
6, which is an average of 5,800. Doesn't really matter which defense I pick. So I'm going to take the Ravens at 4,000. I think that's the one game on the docket that I'm most convinced could be a real whitewash, like some 38-3 nonsense.
All right. I guess in theory, I should probably take Kamara because I already took him one time. but let me save us a little money and see if we want to do some finagling. I'm going to take Joe Mixon, 7,100. And oops. All right, 7,100. That gives us 500. Do we want to move anything around? Anything is on the board.
Let me get some. I'm thinking.
I'll poach one of my picks and say if we wanted to upgrade from Tunyon, Freiermuth is 42. I don't trust Ertz's pitch count at 4,400. I'm just really worried about that. Freiermuth at 42 or Njoku at 39. I mean, that depends on how you feel about whatever Jacoby Brissett's going to try and do in that game. I don't know if you saw Brissett much last year in Miami, but he's not great. Not great.
I actually kind of like the Tanyan pick. I like the logic behind that. I think he should get some targets today or on Sunday.
What if in that game we're looking at with Eckler, we try to squeeze in? I'm seeing Hunter Renfrow could be. We could take one of our receivers out. Hunter Renfrow, where was he at again? 5,800. Does anyone like Renfrow in that game?
I do.
In that game, it's just a question of where the ball goes.
So we could either, was it 57? We could do any of our receivers realistically.
What are our receivers again?
What's that?
And Juju. Anderson, Thielen, and Juju.
Well, Anderson's are stacked, so if we do that, then we got
stacked. So he's out of the mix. So it's basically Thielen. It's basically Thielen because taking Juju out doesn't get us to 5,800. So it's basically Thielen versus Renfrow.
No, Thielen would. It would, because you're talking. I mean, Juju would, because it's 5,700. There's 500. Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought he was 57. He's 5,800. So maybe you got Michael Thomas there too. I'm just a little concerned. Michael Thomas week 1. All right, whatever.
Michael Thomas, but
all right, whatever. We got to move on. But anyways, we'll just put that in as the and we'll put that in as the hell with it. We'll play with $500, and you never know what'll happen. Enter that, and I don't even know what contest I enter, and I know it was free, so who knows? All right, let's move on from that. And what do we got next up on our docket here? Apologize, give me 1 second. Feeling flexy. Gonna ask y'all some flex questions, and basically you're gonna give me I don't have a screen to share for this, so we'll just go here. All right. Gonna go with just like a traffic light, stop, go, or caution. So go meaning you're all in. I'm not even thinking about let's do it. Stop. I don't want to play them. Caution would be okay if you don't have any other options, but let's see what happens. Now, Kittle was on my list, but that's basically because of the injury. I think that's kind of a gimme with the caution. And J.K. Dobbins as well, right? So we'll go to the first real question. How about that? James Robinson. We'll just go around the horn. Bobby.
I'm going to say stop. I think if you're in a position to play him, it's not good. He's coming off an Achilles tear. Those are not very good for running backs. And he's at best going to have to split with the workload with ETN. I don't think he's going to get a ton of carries, so I don't think he's worth starting.
Sean.
For me, I think ATN's the clear number 1 in that backfield. I don't love it.
Steven, what say you?
Yep, stop for me as well. Like with where you're drafting him, you should have better options to start, like especially week 1.
All right, I'm combining these two together. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Bobby.
I'll say start. I'll say start on Aaron Jones, and I guess caution because I'm a little bit 50-50 on Dillon. I think he's a decent flex play, but Aaron Jones, I don't think there's a reason not to start him as at least your running back 2, potentially 1, depending on how you drafted. I think he's got the receiving upside, and he's the number 1 running back on that team. So I think Jones is a great play.
Sean.
Go. I think there will be lots of packages where they're both in the lineup and could score points because they love to put Jones out wide and run wheel routes with him and run the pistol. I don't see any reason to not start both of them if you have them.
Steven, I'm going to give you a new one. CEH.
No, I'm out. I need to see him truly like break out, take a hold of that offense. I'm out.
Bobby, give you a new one. David Montgomery.
Caution. I don't think they're going to put up a lot of points. Actually, I'll say stop. Honestly, full stop on Montgomery. I don't think they're going to be in a lot of scoring positions. I know he's the clear-cut running back one, but he's not terribly exciting. And, I don't think the Bears are going to be in a lot of scoring positions on Sunday. They're just not a good offense at all. I don't trust them enough.
Sean, Michael Thomas.
I don't love it. Everything I'm hearing out of that is that they're going to run a very traditional offense and a lot of 12 personnel. I need to get burned by him a couple times. He hasn't been healthy for 2 years.
Steven, last one on this little segment. Rashad Penny.
I'm playing him week. I'm gonna say caution. Kenneth Walker is out, so they're gonna be leaning on him a lot more. But that week one at home, there is at home, but that Denver defense is not one I really want to target, especially from the rushing side.
All right, this one. Now we've only got one game to obviously go off of, the game on Thursday night, but there's two pretty good names. We're going to throw them out here. Are you panicking or chilling if you own Cam Akers? We'll go around the horn. Bobby.
Full panic. I've been saying it for a while. I don't like him. He's not good. What's his name? I'm blanking on the coach's name. McVay. He was not happy with him either. Missed a lot of blocking assignments when he did get on the field. He only finished the game with 3 carries. He's just he's toast. Point blank.
Sean, panic or chill? Panic means just you're looking for something else. You might drop them, whatever.
Because it's week one, and there's always a lot of overreaction in week one. McVay will figure it out. That was the worst possible scenario for them against a team that I think is better than them.
Steven, what say you?
No, I'm panicking. I'm panicking on Cam Akers. McVay has not been shy about his love for Darrell Henderson. We saw it with how it played out. 81% of the snaps he was on the field. Akers just has to be better. There's a couple highlights from him in pass protection where he, instead of blocking, he juked the defender. So, yeah, I'm panicking.
All right, same question, different player. Allen Robinson, Bobby.
I'm not. What were the options again? Panic and then what?
Panic or chill. Panic means you're like, man, you're trying to trade him. You're trying to you're trying to find a different avenue next week. You're definitely not starting him.
I'm chilling with A-Rob right now. I'll give it some time. He was getting open on Thursday. He looked all right. He just wasn't getting a lot of looks from Stafford. I think give it some time for him to work his way into that offense, and he'll be all right.
Sean?
Our fantasy owner, you should be panicking. You should be running from the house like your head is on fire because this dude is quarterback cancer. I don't know where he built his last house, but I think it was probably on an Indian burial ground, and he dug up the bodies and peed on them and buried them upside down. Like, something is wrong with this dude. He has wrecked like 4 straight quarterbacks. And as a Lions fan, I'm all for it. Please go 0-17. Give us the best picks. Keep them coming. Panic.
Steven, what say you?
I'm chilling. I saw a cut up of all of Robinson's routes. He was open on, I'd say, at least half of them. I think yesterday was just the Bills just were after Stafford on almost every single play. He was panicking, and it just wasn't good all around. There's brighter times ahead. Like you said, that was kind of the worst case scenario for this team, just facing a better Bills team. I'm chilling, and Robinson still has better days ahead. So does this offense, minus Cam Akers.
I think I'm chilling on both. The only caveat I would say about Akers is if there's something better out there, depends on your roster size. Maybe you're dropping him to pick up maybe you're dropping him to pick up Henderson at this point. You just roll the dice again. You know what? If I get burned, I get burned, right? You didn't draft him with your number one pick, so it's not like it's a total disaster. You probably drafted him somewhere between the 5th and 8th round with Akers, maybe even later, depending. I kind of steered away from him this year just because I think he'll be okay eventually. But man, when you're drafting a guy that high and you're rostering him for that long, you kind of want a guy that you can plug and play, or at least have a reasonable expectation he's going to start. And with Robinson, man, I'm straight chilling. I'm not worried about. Look, it's like I said, worst case scenario happened. Like, that defense for Buffalo looked real. I also feel like I don't feel like the Rams were not just ready, but I don't think they had a very good game plan. And it unraveled from them in the second half. And I don't know. I am very cautious about Allen Robinson in general. I didn't get a lot of shares of him, but you got to figure he's going to figure it out in that offense. All right. So just like stop, go, and caution, this is sleeper, meaning you might grab him for a DFS. You might grab him for, in deeper leagues, or do not disturb. Let that bastard sleep this week. I don't want anything to do with him. So sleeper or disturb, or do not disturb. Romeo Dubs. Bobby.
I'll say sleeper because Lazard's out this week. I'd go ahead. I think he's a safe play. He won't be putting up crazy numbers, but I think with the price you're getting at in DFS lineups, I think he's worth it.
Steven, I'm pretty sure I know where you're going to go with this one. George Pickens.
Yeah, I'm going to say sleeper. I mean, we know the talent's there. We have no idea how Trubisky's going to look and how this offense is going to look in general. I think there's some potential there for week 1 in DFS, but I'm not super, super hopeful. Still a sleeper, though.
Sean. What's his name? Westy Kine? How do you pronounce his name? For the
Titans.
Yes.
Nicholas Westbrook Akina. I'm gonna say sleeper just because
okay.
I don't know who else Tannehill's gonna throw to besides Austin Hooper, because it looks like Burks is either out or game time. AJ Brown's gone, Julio's gone. Are you really gonna count on Bobby Trees? I like Robert Woods, but he's not physically what he was 3 or 4 years ago, which unfortunately is what I'm hearing a lot of Titans fans expecting. And that dude ain't coming back anytime soon. So I think in a half PPR and a full PPR especially, he's a rare find. He's a good sleeper.
AJ Green. Mr. Bobby, this is right in your wheelhouse.
I'll say sleeper. I think week 1, with Rondale Moore being out, D-Hop obviously suspended, Ertz, he's banged up. Those targets got to go somewhere. They're not all going to Hollywood, so I think AJ Green will get some looks. I think he'll catch some passes on Sunday, and I think it'll be worth the price you're getting him at.
Steven. Christian Kirk.
I'm going to say sleeper once again. Kind of like what Bobby, like we've been saying, like with a bunch of teams. Who else is Trevor Lawrence going to throw to? I mean, there's Evan Ingram there that's new. You got both Jones, Marvin, and Zay, but that's really it. And I think, I forget the amount of the contract, but they signed Kirk to a big deal. He's their prize free agent. I think they're going to force the ball to him this week.
And Sean, the last one on this segment, Michael Carter.
This week, he's one of my huge sleepers. I've got a couple of shares of him in some DFSs because, again, if they're down early, there's going to be a lot of checkdowns. There's going to be a lot of passing downs, and that is Carter's specialty in that offense. And just with not a whole lot on the outside, I don't know what else they'll do. I think eventually Breece Hall will supplant him as the every down back. But even then, Carter's going to be in on passing downs. I like Carter this week.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into some stardom stems. We do have some. Don't have as many as normal. but a lot of folks just sent me the inbox. Are y'all still doing stardom sit-ins? And then didn't answer back. I was like, yes. And then anyways, so I'm sure we'll get many more by next week. So let's go ahead and hit them real quick. And we'll just do individual ones so that we can get to more of them. Bobby, Ramondre Stevenson or Cordero Patterson?
Ooh, because Stevenson's still probably behind Damian Harris, he hasn't quite taken over as the lead back. I'll go Patterson. I mean, he's still one of the main factors in that Falcons offense. I think he's going to catch some passes out of the backfield probably, and I think he'll probably score a little bit more points than Stevenson this week.
Sean, Kareem Hunt or Melvin Gordon?
Melvin Gordon. I don't like Cleveland's potential to run the ball in that game because I think Carolina is going to put 9 in the box and dare Jacoby Brissett to play NFL quarterback.
Steven, Nyheim Hines. Oof. Nyheim Hines or James Robinson?
That's really tough. I'm gonna go Nyheim Hines though. Like I think he's got the more secure role in the offense at this point, and I think Houston's gonna be a lot friskier than people think tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's just, man, I mean, guys coming off a major injury, I'd be really hard pressed. I mean, and it's got to be a deep league, but I'd be really hard pressed to go with the guy that's battling that injury. What you're hoping is that Hines catches a couple passes and breaks it. Okay, here we go. Bobby, Rashad Penny or Josh Jacobs?
I'll say Penny until he's injured. I mean, it's only a matter of time, but right now he's a lead back and Kenneth Walker's hurt, obviously. I know they're going up against tough run defense in Denver, and they're probably not going to be putting up a ton of points, but, you know, I think Penny's – honestly, I trust him more than Jacobs at the moment.
Sean. Oh, good luck with this. J.D. McKissick or Mark Ingram?
You want to hear something crazy? Give me J.D. McKissick. And here's why. Yeah, drop them both. Here's why. Gibson is one fumble away from walking the street. The running back they were counting on this year, not to make fun of it, got shot in a carjacking because nothing good can happen to that franchise until Snyder sells them. McKissick has been a fantasy savior for a lot of people many a week, especially in half and full PPRs, because that dude catches a lot of passes. Whether he'll do that this year, I don't know, because they do have a few more guys on the outside, namely Jahan Dotson. But if those are your choices, I would take McKissick.
Steven, Kadarius Toney or Tyler Boyd?
I'm going to go to Kadarius Toney. Tyler Boyd, I just don't think will be necessary this week. I think they're Bengals are going to get out to a decent lead, and I think if any production comes from the wide receivers, it's going to be either Chase or Higgins. Toney is probably arguably the best player on that offense outside of Saquon right now, and if they have any chance of being in this game, they're going to need some big plays, and it's I mean, just like I love Toney in that scenario.
Bobby, Garrett Wilson or McCole Hardman?
Give me Garrett Wilson. He's my favorite rookie receiver. I'm not sure how he'll do with Flacco or just do in general. I mean, we haven't seen him play at all, but I like his potential. I think he'll score more than Hardman.
Sean, are you going with this is okay? So take two of these three. Start two of these three. Rashad Bateman, Darnell Mooney, or Adam Thielen. Bateman, Mooney, Thielen.
Bateman and Thielen. Didn't take me long. I'm not starting anybody in that Bears offense until I see it. I got to get burned by it first. I love Bateman. I mean, he's the number one. I don't know how much they're going to throw the ball. But Bateman and way further down the list, if you're looking to stream a cheap tight end in DFS, Isaiah Likely is someone that, because Andrews is basically the number 2 receiver at this point. Likely is going to get some goal line. He's going to vulture some touchdowns from Andrews this year. I'd bet my life on it. But no Mooney, no Bears. Go away.
Steven, two of these four, all wide receivers, two of these four, Waddle, Deontay Johnson, Juju, or Hunter Renfrow. Waddle, Deontay, Juju, Hunter Renfrow.
Give me the last two, Juju and Renfrow. I mean, like Waddle, we just have no idea what that offense is going to look like. Deontay Johnson, I think, I mean, he's going to, he's the number one receiver out there, but we just don't know what the volume's going to be, how the Bengals defense are going to handle him. I think just the floor of Renfrow and Juju is much safer, and they both have a higher ceiling.
Assuming he plays, Bobby, Drake London or Robert Woods?
That's a tough one. I'll say Drake London because I think he'll get some looks in the end zone. He's a big, tall receiver, and if they get down to scoring position, I think he'll be one of the primary targets.
All right, Sean, Sky Moore or Robbie Anderson?
Robbie Anderson. Got to see what that Kansas City wide receiving core is going to look like before I gamble on anything there. I know what Carolina is going to look like.
Steven. Ooh. Is he playing? KJ Hamler?
I haven't heard anything.
It's limited in practice on Friday. Okay, we'll just assume that KJ Hamler is going to play. One of these three: KJ Hamler, Randall Cobb, or Duvernay.
Give me Randall Cobb.
Okay.
With Lazard out, Rodgers has to throw to somebody, and he's probably the most trusted receiver there.
Bobby, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Oof. Braxton Berrios or David Bell?
I feel for you. Whoever, if this is anything less than like 16 people, you're going to lose. I'll say Berrios, I guess, because
who'd you say? I'm sorry.
Berrios. I'll go Braxton Berrios. It's neither is a good option. I don't think he's going to score much, but I don't trust Brissett whatsoever.
We don't get a lot of Jamar Chase or Deebo Samuel questions. I mean, it's usually these are usually folks who are deep in their leagues. Let's see what we got. Let's do a really quick speed one. So just go in order. Sean, Steven, Bobby. Sean, Steven, Bobby. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll start off with Sean. Here we go. Cole Kmet or Njoku?
Njoku.
Evan Ingram or Gesicki?
Evan Ingram.
Devontae Smith or Brandon Ayuk?
I'll take Ayuk.
MVS or Kadarius Toney?
MVS.
Jacoby Myers or Russell Gage?
Oh. Jacoby Myers?
This one says 20-man league. So get ready for this one.
Oh my.
There's 3 questions for it's got to be the same damn league. All right. First one goes to Bobby. Here we go. Curtis Samuel or Noah Fant?
Fant, I guess. That's a not good choice.
Dubs or Zay Jones?
Am I up? Is it me?
No, it's me.
Sean.
Okay. Zay Jones.
Sterling Shepard or Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Sterling Shepard.
Shepard's still in the league?
He's active.
He just came back off of he's not on the PUP. That's all I know about him. I'd be finding a way out of this damn league. Right now. Okay, get away from that league. Here we go. Dallas Goedert. This must be flex. Dallas Goedert, Kareem Hunt, or Devontae Smith?
I'll say Smith.
Sean, last one. You going with Chris Godwin or Julio Jones? Is Godwin playing?
I haven't seen an announcement. I think he's questionable or doubtful. So just for that reason, I'm going to.
And there's
Julio.
also a similar one. So just answer this all together. Add Russell Gage to that mix.
He's questionable with a hamstring, which was always his problem in Atlanta. So
is he really?
I don't know. Julio.
All right. Steven, last one. Treylon Burks or DJ Chark?
DJ Chark, 100%, not even a question.
And Bobby, last one. Nico Collins or Freiermuth, and then in parentheses, I guess this is another option. I don't know what they're doing here. Garrett Wilson.
That's tough.
I don't know if that means
I'll take Wilson. I'm on the hype train. My favorite rookie receiver.
All right. So that ends start sit. Man, that's some rough stuff there. All right. So last part of the show. Let's see what we got here. We're going to get into some lines, some locks. Let's start off with Sean's Sean's no way parlay.
Woohoo!
Let's get the stupid out of the way.
All right, let's get the stupid out of the way. I texted this to Steven. He loved it. So this will be the only week I will do a 14 parlay. I said I would keep them to 3. I will keep them to 3, but week 1 special. So we're going to do 4. So these are all money line grabs. And these are money lines I picked up this morning. So they may have changed a little bit. Don't go crazy. Jags plus 130, Vikes plus 100, Raiders plus
Jags plus 130.
Minnesota Vikings
not
plus
in the
100.
Pool. Okay, Jags plus 130.
Minnesota plus 100.
Okay.
The Las Vegas Raiders, who are plus 158, which just boggles my mind because I think they're better than the Chargers. And last but not least, the cherry on the cake. I had lots of options, but I went with the Detroit Lions plus 180. So these are all money lines. Again, so all these teams have to win. I'm not throwing any spreads in here. If all 5 of those win, $5, a nice little Abraham Lincoln wins you $166. That is my no way parlay for the week.
Enough, because those are some crazy. You got to have a lot of things. You'd think that would get you like $1,000.
So $5 wins you $160. That's again long odds. That's the point of. That's why we call it Sean's stupid parlay or the no way parlay, whatever you want to call it.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into the locks. Guess it doesn't really matter who goes first. Steven, what's your lock of the week?
Thank you. This was actually included in Sean's stupid parlay. I'm going the Vikings plus 1.5. With all the injuries in Green Bay, Alan Lazard's out, looking like David Bakhtiari may be out as well. I think the Vikings are the better and healthier team at this point.
What's the line again? Sorry.
Vikings plus 1.5.
Where's that game at? It's in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota.
All right. That seems. I mean, I get it. They're the Packers, but still. Bobby, what's your lock of the week?
Taking Jaguars plus 2.5. I think they come out on top in that game. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to come into the season with something to prove. But, I got the Jaguars.
Sean, what say you?
My lock is, look at what I'm wearing. The 2-and-on hive is here. Miami Dolphins minus 3.5 at home against the New England Patriots. My big, dumb prediction for the season, just like last year's big dumb prediction that the Steelers would finish under 500, which has never happened, is that the New England Patriots not only will not make the playoffs, they won't even finish in the top 2 in their division. Miami minus 3.5, on and forward.
All right, so we got Jags plus 2.5, Minnesota plus 1.5, The Dolphins -3.5. Joey took Iowa State +3.5. Tones took the Colts -7. Man, what I really want to do, but I just don't want to pull for it, is Bama -20.5. I feel like they're I feel like it's gonna be roadkill. But I'm gonna pick something that I'm actually gonna pay attention tonight. I called it earlier. I think Florida probably wins, but I'm gonna take the Kentucky Wildcats. Make sure the line is still yes. I'm gonna take the Kentucky Wildcats +6. I just think that's going to be a hard-fought SEC football game, and 6 points is more than people realize when you give that up. I know it's in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. I know it's a night game, but I think Kentucky's probably a better team than Utah, and Utah crapped the bed. But regardless, they lost by 3. I mean, I can see this thing going to overtime. And hopefully someone misses.
Good luck, but I hope you're wrong.
Hopefully somebody misses an extra point like LSU did. Oh, yeah. Got to get that. What's your walk-off for the week, Mr. Bobby?
You know what I'm going to say? I'm not going with the Cardinals. They've disappointed me. The injuries have disappointed me. I'm not having any expectations for their game. So I'm going with Florida, Kentucky tonight down in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It's a night game. Looking forward to an exciting game that hopefully Florida wins in convincing fashion. They maintain that top 12 spot.
Are you hyped?
I am. Yeah, I'm pumped up. I'm more excited for them than I was expecting to be. I'll say that. Didn't expect to be as happy about the big Gators.
Sean, what's your walk-off?
My walk-off is keep an eye on the Eagles-Lions line as it gets closer to kickoff. I am bullish on the Lions for the season, obviously, as a Lions fan. No. But lots of injuries, especially in the secondary for the Lions going into the game. Guys were waiting to come back from injuries or from PUP after week 4. And injuries on the offensive line, which is bad. Ragnow's questionable. Vitai's already out. Congratulations. Now you get to face Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargreaves, Nakobe Dean, and the other big kid, Jordan Davis, that they drafted out of Georgia. That could get interesting. It's already up to 5. I would be surprised if it gets to 7 if the Lions rule out Ragnow tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. Could be some value for you there. And college football tonight, yeah, all eyes on Kentucky, Florida. I'm loving the teams. I'm just loving the vibes in the state of Florida. I think Florida's trending up. I think Florida State's trending up after what they did last week.
What's he up to? Is he winning?
My family. I hate that guy. Oh, I can't wait for LSU to run him off. My family. You phony goof.
You got to love Norvell's reaction when the extra point got blocked. He didn't know what he was jumping on everybody. Like, oh,
hey, for the record,
way to lose this one.
Trosh McGee, you can both back this up. Did I not text you? Did I not text you and say I said to my son they still got to hit the extra point because they were Florida State was in LSU's backfield all night on special teams,
like I
on defense.
I wouldn't
everywhere.
Look at the extra point. I was so pissed off about that damn about the blown call by the ref with the knee down. The clock should have been run off. That was ridiculous. I don't know why no one talked about it the next morning. It was asinine. But anyways, karma got them. But they scored, and I just started looking down, and I wouldn't look at the extra point. And then everyone, I was at a watching party. They all jumped up, and I thought he missed it at first. That's why I put wide right because it looked like the ball had missed it. And then when I saw the replay, I go, holy crap, that actually got blocked again. Screw Brian Kelly, I think, has put everyone's feeling.
My family. My family.
Maybe if you'd win a game, I'd show up on time. I love that.
Me and my family.
Steven, what's your walk-off?
Man, week 1 event like NFL is tomorrow. Get your DFS lineups in. Make sure everything is set for your weekly lineups. And just good luck. Have fun. Season is upon us.
My walk-off is, it took us a little while. Look out, baby, we're number 1.
I didn't get my bet in too.
Let's go.
I got mine in. Thanks, Steven. I put a nice little 19 and some change on that. That'll pay out.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I took them way back when it was plus 275. So we'll see what happens. I didn't put a lot on it. I think it's other $20-$25. It wasn't like, ooh, I'm gonna be able to retire. You know,
I'm gonna regret this, but I got one more question.
What's that,
Dave? When are you sending me the trophy?
Exactly, man. Both my teams have crapped the bed. I had all these starters going the last couple of days in the dynasty, and I have a puncher's chance in the dynasty, but I have no chance in the trophy league. I'll get it to you the next time I see you.
I'm looking forward to it. Add to my collection.
I mean, your team's got to get in a plane crash, and even then, I don't know if that'll help because I need negative points. You could probably bench everybody from here on out. I couldn't catch you. All right, we'll see what happens, but I'm not expecting anything. I'm back to just pulling for the Braves and to hell with everything else. Thanks a lot, you crappy pitchers. Thank you, Destin May. Sideshow Bob looking bastard. All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Enjoy the games, guys.
Have a great day, and hopefully I can find the goodbye music. If not, we'll just play this.
We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. The Armchair Quarterbacks bring you Braves Country Baseball every Tuesday and Friday night, play-by-play with Mac McGee. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette, please get another.